Welcome, everyone. We are here for Super Millions 2023. This is episode 2. We got my man Lucas Robinson, Robin Poker, joining us here. Lucas, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Excited. Looks like a good lineup today. So yeah, I'm buzzing.
Yeah, it is exciting. You know, this is the season. The super ranking is here. There will be prizes awarded, keeping track of players' profit and loss, as well as their overall ranking, which there will be, again, very cool prizes. TBD, that's being developed, but we are in the episode 2, although this did start several weeks ago. The new look and feel of Super Millions, very, very fun. And of course, how can you not be hyped up with the Elky, the video there, the trailer? It is exciting, and you can see already who's winning right there overall in the leaderboard. And today, $1.59 million are at the prize pool. It is a big one, and there it is, $253,000 per second. Normally, you could say that would be a big first, but 323 to first. The prize pools have been bigger, more people playing. You see 159 entrants. We do have 9 remaining. Of course, Sunday is when the tournament takes place, and then every Tuesday, the final table. We welcome all of you. Please let us know where you're watching from. We will have the special giveaway at the end of the stream, and take a look at your chip leader there, my man Wow Wojo with 87 big blinds. He has got a nice stack. Of course, some other big stacks there, and our friend Victor Malinowski, who has had so much success in the Super Millions, is on the short stack, but as we know, very capable of doing havoc at a final table, and with chips, he is always in the mix. So anyone stand out for you, Lucas? Anyone you battle with here? Any familiar players that you recognize?
Yeah, Rodrigo, I've played with a few times. He's got the crusher tag for me. Limitless, obviously. Romanowski's played against him a couple of times. He's always, every time I see him on final table, he's a fun one to watch. So yeah, I'm excited to see how he kind of navigates the short stack today.
Yeah, very, very exciting breakdown here. We got a little everything, as you usually will see. There's some big stacks, small stacks, some in the middle. ICM pressure, always a thing at final tables. We'll talk about that, and we will be diving into the action. So let's go ahead, and without further ado, let's dive into that final table. Let's take a look at the kickoff of the action. And guys, again, stay tuned to the giveaways. We will have those for you today. And I think, Robin, you're Lucas Robinson, Robin Poker, you up for a dinner bet? Can we do a little draft? Are you good with that?
Yeah, man, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, let's see it. All right, let's see who's going to beat the best. Let's dive into the final table. And here we go. This is right into the action. We are going to see the chip leader. Of course, the draw, right? You stream a lot on GG, on Twitch, and you know that the draft, the order, it's a big deal to pick your position. Goes from last place to first place. And as we notice here, the chip leaders are kind of away from each other, a little separation, not directly next to each other, but I would say that the standout wise, is there any seats that look kind of interesting to you based on stack sizes here? Anything that you would kind of say that stands out?
I mean, I want to hear your opinion on this, Jeff. Obviously, you watch this every week. You see what the kind of the best in the world are doing with that strategy. For me, if I'm the chip leader, I always try and go to the left of second and chips. But I also know there's a strategy behind if you kind of want to go, obviously, to the left, be in position against one of the best player that you think there is. So interesting to see that the chip leader hasn't gone to the left of the second and chips. They've actually gone to the left of obviously Limitless and the 2 shorter stacks, which is pretty interesting. What's your opinion on that, Jeff? What you see mostly the sickos do in terms of the strategy behind the seat change?
Yeah, I'd say it's, it does depend a bit player dependent wise. I'd say there's generally the strategy of, you want to be on the left of the chips, but you do kind of see people stay away from each other too. It's not necessarily the best thing to be on the direct left. It helps, but you can kind of see the big stacks are sort of spread out a bit at this table, and it is an interesting part of the game, interesting strategy. And I think right here we're gonna see some fireworks early on in the final table today with 9 players left. You can see the payouts in the lower right, as we will see a check through on the flop. Ace Queen suited has a pretty big flop with 2 clubs and a diamond. I'm actually speaking of the color of the flops, why don't you pick red or black so we can next hand we can get into our draft. You can choose.
Liverpool supporter, big Liverpool. That's obviously the red. So I'm going with red every single time.
All right, you got it. So next flop we will see what that color is. And Ace Queen suited decides to start betting here, and a queen on the river. So actually a pretty nice card. Clubs miss, queen arrives, has top pair, top kicker, and sevens. Did call correctly and is not one of the better cards to see, right? Definitely a scare card for some bluffs that could arrive, but I don't know. This is a tricky spot. SPR stack to pot ratio exactly 1. What's in the middle and what is in the player's stack here? And let's see what size Gal goes. Wow, check. Pretty interesting to hit that in check. I guess thinks that the hands he might not be getting called by, there could be some sets or some traps, but a little surprised by that check on the river. What do you think to hit that card?
I mean,
not bet?
I was thinking that it's gonna be hard for the sevens to make the hero once we see a jam there. But yeah, I'm very surprised at the check, to be honest. Especially given that they had the clubs, so obviously you block a decent amount of the missed draws. So if you block obviously a decent amount of the missed draws, then there's going to be more value you can kind of get you can get from. So yeah, I'm pretty interested by the check there on the river.
Definitely interesting, but hey, it's early. You know, it's just kind of getting acclimated. Big pot probably decides not going to get called by too many hands there anyway. So we do see a check, and we will go to the next hand as a ace deuce offsuit. Pretty light open, although is got the chip lead or tied for it essentially. So going to be able to open a bit wider, and interesting, sort of dictating what we believe we'll see today. Maybe a little more action, right? A little more aggressive when the chip leaders start opening super wide. And here ace-8 suited does flop the nut flush draw. So certainly not going to go anywhere. One of the more experienced players at this final table, Dimoff, has actually a World Series of Poker bracelet and also 2 wins in season 2 of the Super Millions. So very experienced player, and interesting card here. The ace does arrive. Gonna feel a little more comfortable with the hand. There is some. It's a scary board though for ace-8 suited, right? If your opponent has a value hand, you're losing. You have kicker issues. Could have some 2 pairs somehow with king jack. And here he is. I can't imagine folding, right? Why? How could he? He's got top pair, chip leader, betting, and he just calls. So the river does not improve either player. Ace-8 suited actually will play, and I think you're going to see a check back most likely. I would be surprised to see a bet, and there it is, a check and a nice hand for Dimoff.
You win on that flop as well, Jeff. Black, right?
Okay, good news. Yeah, it was a lot going on here, and I will get the first pick, but then you'll get 2. So I'm gonna go with the chips. I'm gonna go with Wild Wojo. I'll start out with 1, so you get to pick 2, and then we'll alternate 1 each of the time.
All right, I'll go. So I get to pick 2 now.
Yep, you get 2.
So I'm gonna go with Romanowski. And how can I not go with Limitless? I know he's not lasting chips at the moment, but just to make it a bit more fun on my side.
Wow. Okay. Well, you got 2 there. So then we'll be back to 1 each, and I will go with the gentleman with let's see. I'm gonna put Tormination. I go with the 2.8 million chip stack.
Okay, I'll go with Rodrigo. He's like I said, he's got the crusher tag from myself, so I think he's a decent one.
Good pick. I don't think we've had a final table without the Brazilians. All my Brazilians out there, Boatar, J Prods there. You know, the Brazilians, they play a nice brand of poker. I would say the most improved country in poker over the last, decade, 5 years for sure. They just seem to always have a, and yeah, it's definitely a very strong player. So I'll take Dimoff with his resume. He's got 2 titles in the Super Millions, a World Series bracelet, very experienced, already chipping up. I'll go with that man.
I'll go with just the one with the most chips left. I think you not pick Gal Y. Can I have him?
Okay, and that is, let's see. I think that's right, Gal Y, and that I think that's 4 each, right? Is there 1 player left? Is Theo? Is it Theo?
Yeah, I think so.
Theo. All right, I will take Theo. And then I believe you get actually there's the Austrian flag down there. I'm having these names, the names are not easy to pronounce. So I believe it's what's her from Bombacha Velaz, if that's correct. I believe you'll get him, and then we'll have a sweat in the audience. You guys are gonna get $50 or $100. I'm gonna give you some bonus players. So it's a 50 guaranteed giveaway. You'll get 100. We'll give you Victor, man, Malinowski, so many players, favorite player, and then let's throw them. Dimoff, very experienced. We'll give him Selaquan, and how about Wow Wojo? So you guys get that extra sweat. If one of those players win, it'll be $100 in tournament, and if it's not, it'll be 50 in C dollars and cash dollars. So that's what we're playing for. And of course, the hands up. I don't know. Are you familiar with this, Robin? Have you seen the hands up situation? Do you know what that is?
No, I'm not too sure. No.
All right, hands up. So basically, this is something where you get to guess the winning hand. So if it's like ace of heart, two of diamonds, right? If that is the winning hand and you guess that exact suits, you get the jackpot, which is progressively going up every week. So we will have the hands up as well. That is a link that is in YouTube that we'll post. And if you just guess, all you gotta do is go to there and guess that specific suit. How hard could it be, right? You get one guess, the exact hand combination. You got to guess it right. You win the jackpot. It goes up every week. It's worth a guess, that's for sure. And you guys are automatically in the $50 or $100 giveaway. So we got an interesting day. And how much? Tell us about yourself. How much are you streaming now? Content? I know you're traveling, kind of moving, doing a bunch of. You've been in the poker game and a crusher and part of GG as well. So maybe tell everyone at home about yourself a little bit before we get in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I've been a pro 2 years now. So I quit my job. I was just doing, I was actually working in a fish and chip shop, a family fish and chip shop. And it was always my dream to obviously be a full-time poker pro. My dad and my granddad and stuff got me into poker. So yeah, I quit my job to do a challenge, 1,000 hours in 100 days, streamed poker. The rules were no days off, only tournaments, no studying on stream. Only, like I said, only tournaments, 10 hours a day. And yeah, completed that. Started literally 1st of January 2021. It took me, I think, till something like the 14th of April. So yeah, 100 days in a row, 0 days off. I ended up making something like 33,000 profit in the process. Ended up getting sponsored by GG from that. So yeah, it was kind of gone from non-pro to pro, and obviously sponsored by GG. So yeah, literally living the dream, if I'm honest. And like I said, being a pro for 2 years now. So started the stream, I think 3 years ago. So streamed for a whole year while doing a full-time job, which definitely was not easy. And yeah, obviously, like I said, done it for 3 years. Started with a $400 bankroll. Started at the micro stakes and now at the kind of mid stakes. So yeah, and the dream is definitely to make it to the high stakes one day. So hopefully you'll be seeing on me on these final tables, these 10K final tables in a few years' time.
Yeah, well, that is a very, very likely thing. We see the progression. I know you're a great poker player and continuing to improve all the time. And look at this by D-Mob. Are you? I mean, did he back on the turn? Did he check the turn with the nuts to Wow Wojo? Is that what happened? I'm pretty sure I saw that.
I mean, he got lucky. The club didn't ping off.
Yeah, he gave him some rope. The board does pair effectively in his mind, though. Would have heard from two pair, so he's feeling pretty confident about this. And Wow Wojo, I mean, yeah, he would have got some value from the clubs, and has an interesting card, sort of a key card in the hand, but just decides to give up and not put up any money in the pot. So that is a well played hand by Dima. A little bit tricky, doesn't get rewarded, but I like where his head's at, and we're already seeing some interesting plays. And I will say, historically, we've had a lot of good run from the guests on the show that either in the actual Super Millions or in live events. I know Sergio Ado won a Hard Rock 5K main event for almost $1 million a couple weeks after the show. We've had multiple guests come on and then win or get second after doing this. So I mean, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm saying this is a good place to come in and do a little booth magic, watch what's going on. Players you compete with, I'm sure, often with NGG. So this is I appreciate the time a lot, but hey, it's also historically we see good results from those participating. So good luck to you. And there is that hands up promo. It's in the chat on YouTube, and we welcome all of you. Please hit the thumbs up, and that will be the first step of entering in the giveaway. At the end of the show, we'll have a keyword where with hitting the thumbs up, you will be eligible to win the $50 or $100 as well. So a lot going on here. As always on the Super Millions, this is the new season 23, and it is episode 2 of 2023. So last week was the kickoff. And again, the results have been tabulated for, I believe, starting in January or early January, I believe January, the 3rd January, I think, where it started keeping track, but the actual show season is episode 2. So we're off and running, and this is, they're doing the Super Millions live as well, where they're going to keep track of P&L for a live format, the same tournament, which will be throughout the year. There'll be multiple stops, and they will also have a award for that. So it's pretty cool because there's so many tournaments, but if you can actually track the P&L how a player performs with rebuys, prize money within one tournament. That's going to be a really cool thing that is going to be not only for the live online, I should say. They will have live as well. So very cool, and yeah, excited.
When is the first live event going to be for that, Jeff? Do you know?
It's like basically now. I think it's going to be at the Triton in Vietnam, I believe. That's
okay.
That's so yeah, it'll be, I think it'll be 8 or 10. I don't think it's set yet on how many, but it will be tracked live with the same format, same buy-in, and same parameters for this Super Million Live. And there will be prizes, just like there will be prizes for the online version, as you already saw the leaderboard for the super ranking as we looked at the beginning of the show. And nice hand, queens, 4-6-9. King 10 off has 2 overs and a heart. Definitely, you see great players get creative now. It is against the chip leader. They are relatively deep, and good discipline there. Dimov could get a little out of line, but not really the time, right? You're covered, and it's just a little too dicey. And there's so many short stacks, right? You got Malinowski with 400. There's also a 300K stack, and there's another guy 800. So to really get out of line there would be a bit too risky, I think. And here we go. Malinowski passes the 7s. Are you surprised by that with how active Romanowski's been so far? Or do you think just under the gun, players behind, just got to fold?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to be so exciting to see the Limitless kind of play a short stack, because we're going to see players I fully expected the 7s to go in there, to be honest. But same with the 5s there as well. I know that these bottom pair, that these like lower pairs don't play as well. On with ICM, you see a lot more of these bottom pairs getting folded, and a lot more like you see Romanowski open the ace-5 off, for instance, into the gun. But even as the shorter stack, from the ICM study I've kind of been doing myself, these pairs just, in obviously chippy V format, they want to go in for 10 big blinds early position, but final tables they kind of just don't play too good with in terms of blockers, and in terms of obviously with a lot of players being left behind. So yeah, really interesting there. I think if he realized Romanowski was opening as wide as ace-5 off, kind of a bit out of line, I think maybe Limitless may think about jamming the 7s again. But yeah, this is why it's going to be obviously an interesting format.
For sure. Well, big hands. Jack Queen suited, decides strong enough to put pressure, and Theo does have a jamming hand, Ace King off. Just one of those spots where he gets to rip in, and a little bit unlucky because Jack Queen suited is such a playable hand, right? Such a strong hand, but in this particular situation, yeah, not one that you are going to be calling off. So a little bit unlucky.
These type of hands, when I'm trying to get better now, I'm studying poker. Like obviously there's a lot. I think there's a lot more like 3-betting. There's a lot more like I'm putting people in ICM pressure. Queen Jack suited for me is like when you're thinking about whether flatting, whether calling, like that hand to me just seems a bit too nice to 3-bet fold, and obviously not good enough to 3-bet call. Like it's a hand that plays fine in position. So it's gonna be, but like I said, it's ICM, right? It's a big final table, so it's going to be interesting to see these type of combinations and how they play them, because normally I would just just flat Queen Jack suited there, because it's a hand, like I said, you don't really want to be 3-bet fold, and then obviously you can't 3-bet call.
Yep, agreed. Well, here we go. We got deuces all in. Very short stack. The parent in the hand does take it down. So nice result there. When you get called, deuces, pretty hard to be in a good spot. You're flipping almost always, maybe once in a blue moon, get against ace deuce, but yeah, nice pickup.
Interesting the snap fold there with the king 9 suited from the big blind. I'd be interested to see what do you think the bottom of the suited king X there would be a call. I imagine they're calling obviously king queen suited, king jack suited. Obviously they snapped the king 9 suited in terms of fold, so be interested to see if they were calling king 10 suited there potentially.
Yeah, it's definitely close, and wow, aces. nice spot to get in the big blind. And let's see, he is going to get a bite here from 9-10 off. Does it make sense to flat? Does he have it in him to flat? Maybe he thinks doesn't have fold equity, but do you ever just flat check raise it in? I think it is a interesting spot to do so. I guess, like, let's see, if he thinks he has no fold equity, he could shove, but I do think he's better served to just call there.
Yeah, because you're gonna have it's not just gonna be an all in or folds type of scenario there. You are gonna have flats off that stack there. So yeah, I think aces definitely likes mixing in a bit of calling there, but I also know that obviously with ICM you don't want Don't want to be slow playing too much as the lowest as the bottom and chips. When there's obviously someone on a similar chip stack to you, so I don't blame him for jamming there. But obviously, when Tormentation has 10-9 off here, definitely not going to make the call.
Yep. Well, ace 10, ace 6 suited. So both players are going to connect. Ace 10 does have, I'm sorry, ace queen. I'm sorry, I was reading it wrong there. So ace queen, pretty good flop here. Has a club, has a very strong kicker, and wow, Wojo, who does defend, has backdoor spades, backdoor straights, calls. Pretty good card. King would chop, spade wins it, 6 still wins it. So a interesting turn here for wow, Wojo. And if you're DMOV, still got to feel pretty good about your hand. See what he does, and he does check, allows a free card. We've seen some sneaky checks from DMOV and spots getting a little cute. And I mean, look, it wouldn't have, in a sense, it may save him chips here, correct? Because he would have bet, wouldn't have got a fold, and then the backdoor spades come in. So as it turns out, this probably is gonna be a big bet, and then it's gonna be a call, I would imagine. And actually, it does go big. Although it's interesting when he checks, it kind of looks like he might have like, he might not have such a strong hand. So in good sizing from Wow Wojo here, and probably going to get a call.
Even though he has the queen of clubs, obviously blocks a decent amount of like missed flush draws on the flop. I can't imagine once he checks turn that he ever gets away from the fold.
Yeah, does go ahead and make the call. Nice hand for Wow Wojo. Pretty unfortunate. I talk about ace queen. I've said it for many years. It's a hand that just doesn't seem to work. Ahead, behind, flipping. I don't know. I just have a thing with it. Maybe what's your hand? Do you have a hand that you just see? I mean, it seems a lot of the same ones. Jacks, ace queen, ace jack. So like, is there anyone that just kind of you seem like doesn't work well for you? You just lost so many hands or ahead or big moments.
I think ace queen's the one. Yeah, ace queen's the one. To be honest, my favorite hand in poker, I've got an emote on my stream called with jacks because I ended up winning my biggest ever hands, jacks versus aces. Hit a jack on the river, so I love jacks. That's what got me to my biggest ever score, 22,000. So that was final 2 tables and in a $55 tournament. That was during the challenge actually. So it was on day 98. Within the challenge, I went on a 10k upswing the first 50 days. Second kind of final 47 days, 10k downswing, and then I ended up binking a 22k score on day 98. Yeah, so it definitely couldn't have gone better, to be honest. So yeah, the jacks is one of my favorite hands.
Yeah, this is look at this. The ace-8 suited jam and tens finds himself in a spot where he could have just called. It would have been probably very close to do that. And to 3-bet fold feels crazy. And look at this. He might get abused here by this. And I don't know if he's gonna call, honestly. It looks like he's tanking. He's tanking, and he's got to think he's flipping at best most of the time, right? This is a pretty rare scenario where you're gonna have a player jam in under pair. He does make the call though, so got it done. Let's see if he can hold tens to ace-8 suited. Aggressive play. Ace-8 suited does flop the ace. And still a sweat. Still a sweat. Could it be this? It can't be this crazy, is it? Oh my! I mean, this is the hand of the day early. An absolute crazy run. Malinowski shows king queen. He would have made the nutter butters, but wow. There was a matchup between the two players. It goes on the side there. Nice feature on the season 2023 Super Millions. You get a look at the 2-player comparison, earnings, and stats. So absolutely crazy run out, but we are still 9-handed. Everyone, stay buckled in. It's dangerous out there. That was a dangerous spot. That was really like that was a lot. That's a lot of emotion right there. So man, would have had a knockout.
That's why I chose Rodrigo, man. He's, as like I said, he's got plays in him. That's it is very interesting. Takes the aggressive line, and obviously, like I see, he did actually get called in a bad spot, but the roller coaster of emotions in that hand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that was.
What do you think about his jam there with ace-8 suited, Jeff? Do you see them type of jams a lot, like the 4-bet jams a lot? I know that people love the little ace-4, ace-5 suited type of jams in them 4-bet spots, but they're very rare that I've kind of seen them ace-8 suited 4-bet jams.
Yeah, I honestly not really at all. I don't think I've seen that play much at all on here and Super Millions, and where it's been like an ace-7, ace-8, ace-9 for that type of situation. It could be a function of what Rodrigo thinks of the player, right? That with his stack and that he's capable of bluffing, and he just decided he has enough fold equity against that particular player in that spot. But yeah, he stepped into it and of course took his equity and did capitalize, hit the ace, and then had to hit the straight to improve. But you are right. I would say generally ace 5, ace 4 suited with the wheel, sort of ace suited is a much more common spot for that play. So yeah, what big moment.
Tens is another one, like you said, and he could have been flattening. And tens is another one where, like, if you get 4-bet jammed on there, you just hating your life, because Rodrigo has to be super tight there. That's why I'm surprised to see ace-8 suited, because obviously they're two shorter stacks. But maybe he thinks, yeah, maybe they've got obviously previous experience, and he thinks domination is just going to be completely out of line now with his 3-betting, with there being two shorter stacks. But based off his stack there, I couldn't imagine them being too out of line with obviously the deeper stacks behind, and how short obviously the two shorter stacks are. So yeah, pretty interesting one that you see.
Yeah. Well, 7-8 off, 0 wide. We see the chip leader. I do notice a lot where we see the chip leaders really have widened the belt. You know, they open super wide as you would expect, but more so even in some of these super million final tables, we see that a lot. 7-8 off, completely out of line. Queen king suited defends, gets a check raise in, takes it down, and so far we do see a no knockout situation. About a half hour in, exciting final table, and Victor Malinowski very short. He is going to be hitting the big blind here. Seen him come up from a very short stack many times before. Let's see if he can do it again. Has a very impressive resume on the Super Millions.
I feel like every time I see this Super Millions final table, that he's always on it. He's obviously he's in there battling in the high stakes cash games as well. So he's one of the most exciting players that when I see him on a final table, either live or online. So I'm sure, obviously, you've probably watched them a lot more than most people, Jeff.
Yeah, there's definitely been I've seen a lot, and he is a frequent customer there. Season 1 don't have all the stats for, but we do see on season 2 already how much he has done there, and he does have. There's 3 players that have won titles in this final table. So season 2, we have 1 for Selacoran Rodrigo, we have 2 for Dimov, and 2 for Malinowski, but 18 final tables for Victor in season 2. That is a crazy stat, because combined, the rest of the players here have 2, 8 for Selacoran, that's 10, 3 for Dimov, 13, 15. So Malinowski has more final tables in this format, the Super Millions, than the entire table combined. 18 is insane. But he's played 65, and he has a 37% cash rate, which is very high. 24 cashes out of 65. So very impressive for Victor. And King 10 and Ace Queen. King 10 sticking on. And let's see if Romanowski is going to go for a shell here. I mean, King 10 with a weak-ish kicker, middling weak kicker, and Romanowski has no man's land here. Ace Queen, ace high. Does he want to put a big bet in? Wow.
Goes for two big stacks battling.
Wow, this is uncomfortable for Wojo. You know, you could have kicker issues. Ace King comfortably bets. Ace Queen blocks Ace King. Ace Queen blocks King Queen. And look at this. I mean, play of the day. Give the man a badge. That is a nice bluff, and that will earn him a big difference in the chip lead. He now 4.4 million command of the table. And wow, Wojo, I think that was part of the determination factor. Hey, I still have 3.3. If I fold, I'm in a clear second. It's too big of a spot to hero call, and a really, really nice bet there. Impressed by the follow through there. A lot of players would give up and not try to make a player fold a hand such as a king, as strong as top pair, but pretty dry board, and nice hand there. Very nice hand.
It shows that 100% shows the power of position in that spot. This was hence why I was thinking of when you do have the power to obviously choose your seat. that's the exact reason why you want to be in position for the most part versus someone who you're going to be battling with. That's on a similar chip stack. So that's that's why I obviously I found it interesting that while Wojo didn't choose the imposition versus Romanowski, but definitely came to his downfall there in that hand.
Yeah, very difficult spot. And Malinowski has to give a walk. The opponent had 5-4 high, however, and Malinowski now with about 4 big blinds, queen 6 offsuit. Hard to find a spot to be first in. He would go into 2 players with strong hands. So actually, he does go ahead, and he is going to run into 2 pretty strong hands and actually dominated by the queen jack suited. So this would be interesting if we see a shove. Oh, wow. Does Wow Wojo for 500. It's a 10 blinds, a little different. It covers both players. King jack off. I mean, this is interesting. There's money in the middle. He has to beat the 1 hand. And I don't know. You could argue either way, but as it turns out, we see the dominated queen jack suited ahead of queen 6, and there is a jack. That is going to be a very tough ask, and that's going to be it. Malinowski will go out in 9th place, and that is going to be our first elimination of the day. So we are down to 8. And what do you think about the queen 6 offsuit on the button? 2 players, not a lot of fold equity.
Yeah, I mean, 4 big blinds is, like I said, it's definitely, there's no ICM pressure really there on him because he's low at the, like, obviously bottom and chip. So I think you just got to go with the queen 6. That'd obviously be one of the kind of bottom offsuit queen X that he'll take there. Wouldn't have been surprised, obviously, to see some people fall back, but we all know Limitless likes to take them aggressive lines.
Yeah, that was just a bit unfortunate. Runs in the top of the range there, and he is going to be out in our shortest stack now as well. The other short stack, a little more healthy, couple below $1 million. Everyone pretty sitting okay though. Got plenty of play today, as you see the million chips for DMOP in the big line has 20 blinds. King 8 suited opening, playable hand here. Queen 9 suited could definitely 3-bet, put some pressure on, and is considering it. And okay, the Austrian flag gonna chip up here as it is up to almost $1 million. So a nice go for the player that was so short, Velaz Bambacha. What a name, Bambacha. I like it. I don't know what that means, but it sounds powerful. It sounds good, and it is back in the game. The player Gal now defends queen 10 off, ace deuce offsuit in the lead, in position, and expect a likely c-bet, although could check back, does check back against the ranges, just decides that he's got the best hand a lot, doesn't want to get check raised, and does now turn a wheel draw. So let's see if Gall starts firing at this board. Does not. Ace high still good. Blind on blind, or blind versus button, a very common interaction of hands.
There's definitely a flop that I was always c-betting far too much on the button, but the problem is here with the big blind defends a lot of the offsuit 5x and suited 5x. On the button, we don't open the offsuit 5x. We obviously open a decent amount of suited 5x, but the big blind's definitely going to have a lot more of the kind of 8x 5x here. We do open the offsuit 8x on the button, and what I mean by that is like how I try to get better at poker and trying to pre-flop ranges is, for the most part, you open the offsuit 8x on the button and the offsuit 9x on the cutoff. The types of like jack 8s, 10 8s, king 8 offsuits. So we do actually have the 8x a lot there on the button, but we don't really have the 5x. So hands like ace x, if you see that and you get check raised there, it's kind of a not the best spot to want to be c-bet folding. Ace size, and I can happily just check back and see a 10 card. So yeah, I like the way Wojo played.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely been some nice bets, nice plays so far. And here we go, Jack 5 off in the big blind against DMOP here. We see a min raise and Romanowski, who's shown the willingness to be aggressive. Pretty weak holding here. Does he ever throw in a weak call or 3-bet? Does defend king 4 suited. Both players miss. Hold them, no limit. Hold them so hard to make a pair and hold them. As we see, there is a no pair, really no immediate draw either. No one really has anything. Complete whiffs, king high in the lead. Romanowski definitely on this board, as played, could take a stab. Let's see though. He's just got an absolute nothing. however. Let's see if he does want to take a shot. Part of the problem is his opponent may have hands like king, queen, or queen, jack, right? That maybe want to stick on, or a strong spade, and then you have to shell multiple streets, but decides that he decides that it is a good spot to stab, and he does take it down. So here we are. We're still 8-handed, and the rich get richer. 4.5 million has a nice lead on second that has 3 million. And Romanowski's showing that he's not afraid, right? He is playing the stack. He's been opening light, been putting pressure on. So we could see some separation. If he gets the right situations, he could really apply a lot of pressure and put everyone in a tough spot. And Dimov now with 8's going to open up in the cutoff and doesn't really have much.
I think Romanowski was favourite in terms of the final table betting before even with being second in chips. I think he was pretty decent favourite. So I think we've seen already why that is the case.
For sure. Well, again, no blood here. We got one knockout only. We are just over 40 minutes into the show. Actually, just about 35 minutes, and we have one knockout so far. Appreciate you guys being here watching. I got myself, Jeff Gross, alongside Lucas Robinson. Robin Poker streams content all over the place, Twitch, and does a lot more than that. So please give him a follow. Appreciate him being on here with us today, calling the action. And again, the booth magic, right? That is the goal. The bonus here is a lot of success afterwards. So I love it. I love watching. I love see what's going on. There's so many questions, so many great players making plays that I just don't. If you see someone that's very good doing something that you wouldn't do, it's really important to sort of take that in as a moment, opportunity to learn, ask questions, kind of go to your network of players, friends that play and talk about hands. So that's always what I get to do here. And Theo is got a interesting spot and does just shove it in. So like the play on that stack depth, kind of seems mandatory almost. And Gal taking a little time posturing, but certainly not going to call off with Jack high for that many chips.
Yeah, I like just come back from in terms of the studying, and like I think this is one of the best free forms of content on in poker for final tables. You see the best poker players every week playing a final table, cards up coverage. It's just the easiest and the best way. Like, and it's a fun way to study poker as well. Watching the best battle. That's why I wanted to come on today. This is sort of I myself in my own time just watch this final table anyway to get better at final tables. So I'd advise anyone if you're just obviously watching this in terms of fun or whatever, or you can sit there and like we're doing, obviously chatting about hands. What do you think about the ace 8 suited there, jam, Jeff? Like, ask questions. Like you said, it's definitely, in my opinion, the best way to get better at final tables, because it's just a completely different game. Once you're on a final table, all the different chip stacks, the ICM pay jumps, it's a different beast, and I'm starting to get more into studying final tables, and it's definitely makes poker a lot harder, but it is definitely fun at the same time.
Yeah, and look at this. Got the king 10 with a gut shot over, but 8-6 suited flops pair. Flush draw player just deciding does want to check raise here or just call. But at the same time, you actually have some hands you're like this in really bad shape, but you at the same time, there's a lot in the middle, and you do force fold equity from some draws or some other hands. So I think the check all in makes a lot of sense, and we do see the check jam.
I think if they were playing deeper there, you definitely see a lot more calls. Maybe I think that hand can kind of mostly do some calling, do some mixing, but just with the stack to pot ratio, I think just running your equity there is definitely going to be the best play.
Yeah, I like that play. I think that was the right maneuver in that spot. And here we go. A couple more of the chip leaders looking to tango. Is king 5 off going to defend? They're deep. No, king 5 off does not defend. Closing the action. I think you're going to see a mixed bag there, right? Some players with this situation, stack size, are going to call. Some will just fold. But a little respect. Romanowski getting going here, getting some good spots. Even here, Jack 9 suited. No one has a really 3-bet hand in the situation, and then all of a sudden, even though he's behind, he's going to get position and get to play against a hand that's better but out of position, and he does have the lead. So ace 4 suited, even just folding, king 5 suited, closing the action. Risk premium the lowest, meaning if they bust, there's no real problem. So we do see a defend in here. This is exactly the type of hand where it's tricky. You have a king five suited. The chip leader, you know, is pretty wide. Not an easy board to play though. You're out of position. You have a modest holding. There are bluffs, semi bluffs, even here, jack nine suited. Bet small, maybe 60,000, 50,000. You know, can you hold on? Maybe they hit there. There's a 50K, very small bet. But, you know, do you call? Do you raise? Here, try to deny equity from some air. You can't fold, but the board is always going to be scary, right? Any card really here besides a king or five is going to be scary. A club, a three, a four, any Broadway, any card. And look, an innocuous nine would put them not in the lead. So this is a very difficult hand, and this is what is fun to watch the world-class players play these type of situations. Let's see what Romanowski comes with, and if Dimov is able to hold on, which it would be really hard to hold on to a good-sized bet here.
I think what's helping, and obviously the ace two fives, there's obviously going to be some two pairs, some straights that potentially the big blind has that'll make Romanowski slow down a bit. But you can see it does not make him slow down on this 10 of clubs, and he does take it down.
Wow.
Yeah, like you said, Jeff, there's just going to be so many bad turn cards for your hand, but there are going to definitely be a lot of turn cards that Romanowski's going to have to slow down on, and obviously he had the perfect hand in terms of just complete air. Because what mistake people make there? Let's say they've got a hand that with, let's say, a jack nine with a club. It seems like a good bluff candidate, but you kind of don't really want to bet call that hand. You don't really want to bet fold as well, the equity. So a lot of the hands with a club there just want to be like checking in position a lot. So you're going to see a lot more, obviously, zero equity hands there, fire on the turn. But again, obviously, firing the jack nine to try and get the 2x, the 5x to fold.
Yeah, look at this. 10, wow. 3 suited defends. We got the deuce 7 of clubs and the four. So fours call and deuce 7 suited. Opening 2-7 suited under the gun is a bit aggressive, right? I mean, we're almost going 100% open first in. I mean, of course it's suited, not offsuit, and gets a very fantastic flop and even a better turn. Club doesn't arrive and makes the 2 pair. So Gal, who has a tough spot, right? It's hard to play against chip leader out of position. You defend the big blind, you flop top pair. As you can see, now you're not even good. And, you know, you could get in a tough spot here. And Romanowski likely going to fire a healthy bet. He has 2 pair with backup, but there is a very wet board, spades, 8, 9, other cards that could arrive for not being the best hand. So he does bet a healthy bet, about 2/3 pot.
The good life of opening 2-7 suited and seeing this type of board, Jeff. you know, things are running good when this type of scenario is happening. Yeah, I definitely obviously think that he's far too out of line here with the 2-7 suited, but this is why it's exciting to watch these final tables. It's never boring when you're getting people opening 2-7 suited under the gun that are complete sickos.
Yeah, this is I'm honestly, it really is fun. It's just fun to watch. It's fun to see how players how they shape up strategy based on stack size and what their plan is. Some players really going for wins, some players wanting a ladder, and it just, I don't know. It's something about no limit hold'em tournaments. I play so much PLO 4 and 5 now, but I love no limit hold'em tournaments. I just think it's fun and it's really cool to see the creativity from players and what you can do. I think that you know, do you play PLO or PLO 4 or 5 at all, or what's your main games other than
no,
hold'em?
just no limit hold'em. I just want to become the best that I possibly can, no limit hold'em. But to be honest, I do enjoy the first WSOP event that I played when I was 21. My dad took me to Vegas when I was 21, and it was I think 500, 600 mix PLO / no limit. Here we go, all in. Ace Jack, King Jack.
Yeah, short stack King Jack suited does shove, picks up the gut shot, backdoor spades. Wow, the gin card still has to fade, just the king. He's got one. There is a 3 left in the deck. It is not paint, and man, what a smoke bink there. He gets dominated by the ace jack suited, but King Jack suited makes the hand and actually has the stone cold nuts. So Dimov is back in, no elimination. Tough players, 1-2 times, very, very talented player, and everyone gonna be a little upset about that, right? If you're in the tournament, you lose a tough player, get a pay jump, and now a talented player with a healthy stack. So that was a pretty big swing.
Yeah, just going back on the PLO, I'm definitely a bit of a fish when it comes to PLO. I do enjoy it, but it's definitely a game I haven't got a good dual win rating, so I try and keep away. But maybe one day, Jeff. Maybe obviously when I'm potentially retired from the no limit, we can throw in some 4 cards, some 5 card. I've heard some people playing 6 card PLO, and I'm like, I'm not crazy enough to go into them games at this moment in time.
For sure. Well, Romanowski getting a little wild. Queen 6 off, 5.4 million. It's been actually so rare that I've seen a complete runaway where a player has just like smoked the table completely to a point where everyone's short. And I do feel like Romanowski has got the makings to do it. He's playing well, he's hitting boards, and he's also being super aggressive in almost every spot and kind of getting away. Everything's sort of been working out for him so far. And he does have a commanding lead now on the table and sort of separated, right? Look at he's over double second place with 8 left right now. So really things shaping out for him pretty well. And this is he probably just can't believe, like, does he ever check back here? It's almost so much. He's so strong. I think you just got to bet small. Just hope your opponent has a flush draw 7, 8s or something that just flatted instead of raising, although unlikely would have jammed, I think, a hand like that. So really just have the nuts here, right? You're just so high up in the range. Does go super small, and everything's working out right now.
I just think one big blind C betting range there. It's just it seems a bit too fishy when you start checking back that type of board when it misses the big blind so much.
I don't think you can. So it's just like you literally he had the nut spade as well. He's got the trip king's best kicker, but yeah, you got to bet something. You want to be balanced. He's going to miss so much and just bet. So feel lucky he didn't have 6-7 or something and get caught on there. And as it turns out, Romanowski sits out a hand. What did he fold? I didn't even get to see what he just folded. I'm surprised he's folding anything. He feel like he's opening every hand. He's opening deuce 7 suited, ace deuce off. He's definitely opening a very high percentage of hands. Does take off one here, and we get to see a flop. King 9, ace deuce off, and King 9.
Are they playing the 7 deuce game that we don't know about yet? Like I said, if he's opening 7 deuce under the gun, I can't see what he's folding in later positions, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure, but I do see a wide range of hands being open, and here King 9, ace deuce off. Ace deuce not going to be in love with the board and is going to have to run away.
I get opening 7-2 if there was a very short side. Let's say there was like 4 big blind set, but there's not really any like really short. It's like the shortest stack is 15 big blinds, right? Or just about 12 big blinds. So I'm heavy interested to hear some other thoughts on that 7-2 suited. Versus Romanowski. I mean, like, we know he's an absolute sicko. So yeah, it's really interesting to see some of the plays. Well, that's why when I'm playing against players like that and I see them open something like that and then I see them fold, I'm like, what is the range? What type of range are you actually folding if you're opening that?
Wow. Look, and wow, Wojo folding some close spots, doesn't take the Queen 9 suited 3-bet in the small blind or flat even versus the button open, and then Queen 7 off the computer hand decides to shoot it up on Rodrigo Stelaquan. So interesting, and man, guys are going for it. They are really going for it. The players today are picking their spots and making moves. So it is again, Romanowski just sort of feels like it's his day. Just kind of things are working out. Here we go. Queen Jack suited. No one with a really strong hand yet again is just going to get to open. Kind of snap holds around. Even ace 7 off, second and chips on the button. You know your opponent's up to no good. You really want to play. You run the risk of getting squeezed. And again, ace 5 off. Similar spot, right? You call, and now a really good flop for Queen Jack suited. Got 2 overs, gut shot, backdoor spades, and you also have a spot where you can put a lot of pressure on the stack where there's much shorter stacks. So expect Romanowski to be putting pressure on here. Doesn't though.
It's a very interesting check back.
It is interesting. At the same time, doesn't want to get blown off and has some good equity. But I'm a little surprised to not bet there with that particular board, but maybe now gets to pounce and put some pressure on. Does now have a key card, right? The Jack 10 suited. He could have Jack 10. He's opening all the Jack 10s, I think, right? Not just Jack 10 suited with his stack and how he's been playing. And there it is, a big bet on the turn. So, another interesting part is a lot of times you feel responsibility as a chip leader. I got to be aggressive. I got to always go for it. but he's showing some composure, patience, and spots right there. Doesn't just bet the flop, but then comes with a big bet on the turn. So yeah, I like how he's playing, and he seems to really have a understanding of where he's at, how he's perceived. That's something that Granyu always talks about. The most important attribute of a player is to know how you're perceived by the other table, by people at the table, and that is something I think the world's best to have a really good job of doing, to understand what that looks like in the moment, how the other players think they're playing, and if you are able to do that, you're gonna have a big advantage.
That's what I was going to ask, Jeff. I mean, obviously, this is on a delay, right? So how long is the delay in terms of when the players can see kind of the cards up on how the other players are playing?
30 minutes. So
yeah. So this is what I mean. So we might actually see in like say 30 minutes time when people on this final table start seeing that Romanowski's opening 7-2 suited under the gun, we may start to see potentially some of the players open up a bit. And yeah, hence why obviously it's probably pretty important for them to be seeing how wide Romanowski's going in certain spots.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I mean, wow, look at this. He's putting 1.8, 30 bigs with 8-9 suited, just knowing Rodrigo can't call, like even got to fold ace 10, stuff like that. Supposed to, at least ICM wise, right? So just absolutely pushing the envelope. Pushing it, pushing. My man's finding ways to win pots. That is what he's doing, and he is chipping up. And there it is. Folds though, folds the button, not playing everything.
It just shows it's so important to. Ooh, wow, okay. So we yeah, this is going to be a very important part. Elimination. I mean, in terms of chip EV, that's going to be a call. But yeah, I mean, we just seen Rodrigo, similar to Romanowski, play pretty aggressive in the spot and get them to fold a hand that is 60 suited of ace 8. Got them to fold the best hand. And you just seen like the best players in the world are doing plays that you potentially wouldn't even think about. Oh, here we go. Jack 9 suited ace king.
Wow. Theo has the best hand. Every player with the pair, ace and the 9, and a turn that's clean needs to fade a jack or a 9, or we will see a double up, and it is a split of that, the jack and 9. And Theo will get the double up, and Rodrigo, who does take a bit of an aggressive line, doesn't work out there, but still has a million chips. Still sitting okay, close to 20 blinds, about 18, 19 is it, right? So, and then king 8 off, good enough to open. Jack 10. Short stack, risk premium, this term we love to talk about, meaning if he goes out right now, not a big deal, right? He's not like in third or fourth in chips, going out in 8th. If he goes out in 8th and he's the 8th shortest, not a big deal. And he does flop a creative hand here, double gutter. Into top pair, though, this could be a clear check raise spot. Certainly not folding, right? To a bet here. It's interesting with the weak king how Romanowski will proceed. Does go for the small bet. So this is interesting. If you're Jack 10, you definitely could argue just appeal here, right? The problem is when you don't hit a Jack 10, a 8 or a queen, maybe you just get blown off of it. So the reverse of this is if you check raise, your opponent doesn't have a king or a very strong hand, you could just pick up a big pot. So I actually think he's going to be leaning more towards a big raise, but
yeah.
Let's see.
Right, I agree when Romanowski is playing super wide and he's just going to be c-betting, potentially range this. Obviously, when he's opening a wider range, c-betting range, then it's just going to print money. We do see an all-in and a call.
Yeah, so here it is. Let's see. Can we see a queen river? He's got about 16%, needs a queen or an 8, or else that will be a GG, as it is a knockout going over there. And we see the player eliminated. So that will be our second knockout of the day. We're down to 7. Bombacha Velaz will go out, and the rich get richer. And Romanowski is absolutely on a tear. He has 2 appearances, 2 cashes so far in season 2023 of the Super Millions, and 1 final table, I believe, already. So this is his second final table. 2 cashes. And this will be his second final table and his 3rd total appearance this season. So very impressive player. Really having a good start to the season 2023 here. And good timing. Gets out of the way. Selequan Kings. Although no customer looks available for that matchup.
I feel like he's just Romanowski's just playing the perfect game. He's fading the coolers, fading the strong hands. opening the 7-2 suited, hitting 2 pairs. He's plays definitely playing pretty perfect at the smart. I think it'll stem from that ace queen bluff versus Wojo as well. Got him to fold the king break, the king 10, and the king high board. So I think from that ace queen hand, that ace queen bluff is maybe a spot that potentially a lot of people don't go for. That just obviously gave him the chip lead, and from then he's kind of just increased his chip stack more and more.
Yeah. Ooh, nice limp here from Gal, who may get the bait. Although 7-4 suited, you could argue to check back, but with the ICM pressure, it's something you could definitely go with, but go with as pressure. Although it's nice, right? It's suited. You realize your opponents will have some check raises, and look at this. He does find a way to not, and now Gal not in a great position. Outflop, no spade, and Romanowski now in the lead with position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the limp from Gal.
Yeah, no, I like it.
You've seen how much Romanowski it's going to be isolating a lot. But like you said, 7-4 suited, you want to be isolating a lot more of the offsuit combos that just don't play as good in position. And you can easily just isolate a hand like 7-4 off, and obviously folding if you see a jam.
I actually really like it. I love the limp, and I love the check back. And Gal actually takes a stab, realizing probably he's weighted more towards the bigger spades. He just decides that he's going to force some folds, and well played from Romanowski again. Just calls and gets to get to a showdown, pick up the pot, and Gal thinking, man, where are the diamonds? That could have been nice. As we take a look at the payouts there, all players guaranteed 75,000, 323 for first. Lots of play for Malinowski. A lot of fan favorite there. He is gonna bow out first. Got it in behind Queen 6 to Queen Jack suited. Just couldn't really get it going. Was short stacked and couldn't find a good spot. But we are seeing plenty of action, and Romanowski is kind of get up to 7 mil here. So that is a dominating stack. I mean, he's getting close to 3x second. He's really flirting with that. As we see the GG Masters there on the screen is coming up, $10 million tournaments. You're gonna be streaming some of that, Lucas. We're gonna get to see you out there. You're gonna fire.
Yeah, I mean, I played 3 bullets into the overlay. I think it actually day 2. I don't know whether it's gone to day 3 today, or I think it might have finished last night. Pretty late. So yeah, unfortunately, didn't make day 2 in that one, but it was an insane tournament. Had some good battles on day 1, and yeah, I don't think it reached the guarantee, but it was pretty close. I did say that I was if it hit the guarantee, I promised to shave my head like the Brazilian Ronaldo did in 2002 World Cup. That was a little promise because I knew it was going to be near impossible to hit the guarantee. So I was a little sweat. It was close to the 10 million guarantee. So luckily, I don't have to stream with the Brazilian Ronaldo hairdo, even though it may look a bit better than what my haircut looks at the moment, to be honest.
Very cool. I love that. Yeah, haircut's legendary. I that World Cup. I just remember that commercial in that World Cup where they're at the airport juggling Roberto Carlos. And that was my favorite commercial. The music, and that was
Jogga Bonito, was it? Oh yeah, them Brazilians. I'm sure you've met a few of them. That'd definitely be my dream to meet a few of them legends.
Yep. No, it's fun. And now North America, right? Getting the World Cup next year. Miami's got a spot. Canada's going to have a, Mexico as well. So pretty cool. It's a good time. I think it's going to be an amazing surge for US in soccer, which is already getting more popular. And US had a pretty good showing in the World Cup. I mean, it's getting more popular for sure. I think the average MLS team's like 550 million now in value, which is crazy because they were like 25, whatever, a decade ago or so. And I think Beckham got his for 25 million. The league, he had a deal worked out, maybe got a little bit of deal, but it's come a long way. It's getting popular. Stadiums are selling out, new teams, stronger players, and it's a good time for the game of football in the world. I'd say it's becoming very popular, more mainstream. I think people in the US really are more in tune to the Premiership. They're in tune to Serie A and Bundesliga, and they're actually like watching ESPN carrying games, and mainstream it's becoming I think people are really appreciating the sport now more so.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up, it was like a religion for me growing up in Liverpool. It was either Liverpool or Everton. And yeah, my dad's we've got 3 season tickets right in the Kop, the best seats you can get in Anfield. So I've
Wow.
definitely been lucky growing up following Liverpool. When I was young, we weren't the best, but even when we weren't the best, we were still in Champions League finals, winning Champions Leagues. Obviously, we took us 30 years to win the Premier Leagues, which we won obviously a few seasons ago. So yeah, and I went to the Champions League final to see us lift number 6 against Tottenham, and I think it was Madrid a few years ago. So that was definitely a dream come true. But going to a World Cup is 100% on my bucket list, and obviously if I can try and it'll probably be on the same time, similar time as the WSOP next year, right? Sorry, in a few years' time when it's on.
Yeah.
26, is it?
Yeah. I
So if I
don't
can
think
try and
that.
fit it in around coming to America, obviously for the WSOP, and try and get to a few games, that would be insane.
Wow. I mean, look at this hand. Look at the bet. The king eight suited goes for a bluff, which actually could have worked. An ace seven, very, very light call, right? A lot going on there into two players betting. So interesting bet and an even more interesting call. So high level hand there. Team off gonna shoot down a bit to 850,000. And man, that was an interesting spot. And Gal now with a tough spot with eights. Season open from formation. And a very, very interesting spot. Decides to give it up.
Fault. That's definitely obviously a play that you're seeing based on ICM on final tables. You're not seeing that, and when it's not a final table, right? Everyone's going to be 100% making at least a call out with eights. So yeah, it just shows how tight you've kind of got to be, especially when the bit obviously Romanowski's in the big blind. You're playing out of position to the early position open. I like the fold. So what is your MLS team, Jeff?
I mean, Miami now. There's the being here. There's one. I don't truly follow too much. I'm a big AS Roma fan. Actually, they lost today. I had
Yeah.
got their jersey on.
I was
Pretty
going to
tied
say
in. Gone to a bunch
that's a
of games.
really nice jersey. Really
Yeah,
nice.
they're third kits, but yeah, they're doing well. And I have some one of my some involvement. I keep close eye on the team, and that's like the one I really follow and sweat. But I
So
don't
why
watch too much.
Roma? What's the story behind Roma?
I just one of my really close friends. They bought the team a couple years ago. They're American, and they actually purchased it in I think it was right around the COVID time. So I've been going to try to go to like 2-3 games a season and just follow along kind of what's going on and been to some of the trainings, met players, and I just
Oh
I love
wow,
soccer. I played in college in the U.S. and
yeah,
now I hadn't really had like a team. I feel ooh look at this deuce on the
wow.
river. Gonna go ahead and rip it in and again over 7 million. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really felt like a tie to a team. I actually supported West Ham for several years. I had one of my best friends in college was in their youth system, and then when he didn't make it through, they went. A couple of his best friends were, so we would go over in like 2006, 7, 8, even 9. We were going to a lot of games. Like I stayed at Anton Ferdinand's house. Like we'd go there, stay there, and then go to the games, go out party with these guys. I was like 19, 20, and it was 2 to 1. $1 was or 1 pound was $2, and these guys were spending like 60, 70,000 pounds a night. Oh, getting all in. Ace
There we
Queen
go.
King 10 suited. Let's see. Rodrigo has the lead. We talk about this hand. Can it hold a little extra sweat for the 9 to make a straight? King 10 or 9 not going to be in. There it is. That's how you play Ace Queen. The Brazilians know how to get it done. There is a knockout and a big pot, 2.3 million for Rodrigo. Direct left of the chip leader could give him a little bit of trouble. But yeah, I was just saying. So back then, that was like kind of I knew some of the guys, was going to the games, and was a lot of fun. So I don't for a while though I hadn't really had a tie where I felt strong connection or knew someone or was rooting for someone. So now I kind of follow a lot more and watch Serie A, and it was fun. The World Cup obviously this year was amazing, and it's been a good year, I'd say, in football. It's been a very exciting. The Messi storyline, that was just pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone obviously wanted for Messi to win the World Cup, and just the way it went down in the end was you couldn't have wrote it any better, to be honest. You
Yeah,
ever been
yeah.
to Anfield, Jeff? You ever watched Liverpool in any games?
I haven't. I've been to a bunch of stadiums. Honestly, I've probably gone to like 10 or something. I made 8 to 10. I'd have to go. I've been a lot to the West Ham. I've been to I've been to a few random ones too. Like even Fulham was cool. Craven Cottage. I've been to Arsenal Highbury. Those were the last game, Man U versus
Mhm.
Arsenal, and then went to Emirates as well. I've been to a handful of them, but not to Anfield. I've also been to Sunderland as well out that way. I went to a game there when Anton played there, went up there. So yeah, it's cool. The
I'll have to
atmosphere
get
is
you
so
to.
cool.
Yeah, I'll have to get you a European night. I feel like I said, right in the cough. So I've got 3 season tickets. So I'll definitely get you to a game one day. Obviously, we talked about dinner, but
I love it.
definitely get you to Anfield one day.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And this is not what our friend Termination loves. Getting c-bet, getting continuation on the turn, very draw heavy board. Button versus is the big blind, and you can't fault him if he thinks he has the best hand here. Really tricky. Do you fold? Do you call? But if you call, you got to like kind of be willing to call the river on a lot of rivers. So I just don't envy the spot. I mean, you folding seems reasonable, but also you couldn't blame him to make a stand here, right? Versus the chip later, you're gonna have a wide range, a lot of draws. You have a jack. It's a really tough
These are some
spot.
of the toughest spots in poker where you're playing versus the chip leader. You've seen him open 7-2 suitors under the gun. What percentage is he then opening on the button? You've got second pair. Yeah, these are the toughest spots, but then you kind of the size on the turn doesn't feel like you have much fold equity. So, but then like you said, Jeff, like if you just call here, then you've obviously got to call a lot of river cards. So I think that's definitely going to be a river card that he's going to have to call an all in. Maybe he thinks he can call in, and maybe potentially on a queen, on an ace, on a heart, he gets the fold. But yeah, it's a really tough spot, and I don't blame him for making the call here. I can't imagine that we see don't see an all in on a call here.
Yeah, I mean, for Romanowski, just the 370 extra difference to get a player knocked out, you realize the jack, but there's really not a ton of hands that you get called by. I guess the jack X's are the ones. There's going to be maybe some draws that just miss that get to fold. He's got the exact hand that he's targeting, the jack X that you beat. You lose to a 7. If somehow the player would hold on with the 7, he probably win, but he's basically deduced exactly where he's at. And, does the player have better than, does he somehow have a king? Very unlikely. We're seeing on the flop or somehow a turn check raise or get it in. I don't think you just see it call down. So, really nice hand again, very fortunate run out, but also Termination is, if you're going to call turn and this is the river, so much stuff misses. But I don't know. We see sometimes players do fold.
That's the thing, like you said, Jeff. Like that's why Romanowski. Maybe people watching this are checking back this river far too much with the king 4. What you're thinking, what you're getting called by, but the big blind doesn't really have much 7x. They don't really continue much with 7x. Yeah, do you see the all in and a call? Termination is out.
Yeah, having a strong showing though for the season 2023 Super Millions. You can take a look there on the right. Take a look at his results and his going to add to that. So he is in the mix for the season, off to a decent start. And as we mentioned before, the super ranking, adding points, adding dollars. And he is in a good spot, having another final table, having a good result. So we'll add that there. As Wow Wojo's shown some aggression against Rodrigo with modest holdings, as this time he's got a better holding and he looks like he's on to Rodrigo. He seems to be playing very hard and fast against Rodrigo Silicon's opens, and he is going to go ahead and attack. And Rodrigo, maybe, queen 6 suited, not one you'd typically think to peel, but in position, if you think your opponent 3-bets you pretty wide, maybe you play a flop, but I don't know. Or 4-bet. You have a 4-bet here. Maybe more enticing than a flat, I think makes more sense if you were going to play aggressively or continue.
He's thinking about it. He's like, this is what I mean about like this is probably a snap fold for a lot of people, but Rodrigo is the same as Romanowski, that they find spots that they're not willing to back down. But yeah, he did make the fold. But just even it's just fun to see someone like that think about doing something tricky there with queen 6 suited.
Yeah, and very, very strong 8 million for Romanowski, just sort of chipping up, and we're getting down to it now. 5 left in about an hour, 10 minutes in. So this has actually gone very quickly, and this is, I think, one of the first times we're seeing a really clinical run up where it's been smooth, like just kind of chipping up and really doing his thing. So impressive so far from Romanowski. See if he can keep it on. And again, another, I mean, everything kind of working in the moment. Top pair versus middle pair, right? You're aggressive, you're playing a lot of hands, you're making hands, you know, you're delay c betting effectively in spots. You're just telling a story. And here again, Gala with the backdoor straight flush draw has a pair, can't fold for the bet, and a brick on the turn, no diamond, no straight pickup now, just a naked 6 or 7. And a great spot again for Romanowski with the modest holding, find himself in a nice position to extract some chips here.
It's just a dream when you just open and wide as the chip leader and you're just literally hitting everything. And it's not just like you're hitting something, then every opponent's hitting second pair. You're hitting hands that they just can't fold. It is, yeah, Romanowski is 100% love and life and pretty disciplined fold there versus the turn size. I think Gal is the potentially least experienced, right, on this left at the moment, Jeff. I don't.
Yep.
I think this is his first Super Millions final table.
Yep. Yeah, and actually his first cash as well. He's got two.
Wow.
This is his third appearance, I believe, and 0 cashes. So this will, or a first cash and third appearance, and he is no final tables. So this is introduction to the big show right here. So let's see. We'll see him more on often. Of course, there are a lot of satellite options for as little as $10, maybe even less. I know there's a lot of different ways to get in, and it's pretty exciting when you do make it here and you get to have the bright lights, the amazing software, and the opportunity for a huge score, 300+ thousand going to first.
Like I said, one day I'll make it on here, Jeff. I played the 10K main a couple of times now. Like I said, mid stakes is, I'm still 25, so I'm like I said, been a pro now for 2 years, so I'm still fairly early in my poker career. So yeah, you've heard it here first. One day you'll see me at the high stakes, guys.
Love it.
So yeah, so Romanowski's just going with the call here on the small blind. Like I said, like this ace 10 suited, it's a bit too strong to want to be 3-bet folding, and obviously not good enough to 3-bet call bet. So 20 big blinds jam potentially. So these type of hands, you're definitely going to see a lot more calls in the small blinds. Even though Romanowski can obviously put the pressure on, but because Theo's kind of bottom end chips, you're not going to see as many 3-bets from Romanowski. See bet and take it down. Again, just shows the power of position, right? Even versus the chip leader.
Well, I mean, 5-handed Romanowski has more than half the chips in play, right? 2 million, 1.5, 3.5, 6.5. Yeah, he's got literally exactly half the chips 5-handed. So in a dominating position, while Wojo with 2.8, Seliquan over 2 million, then we got about 1.5, 1.5. So really set up for him to put pressure on, and Seliquan not afraid with the king jack suited, just rips it in, and 6-7 not gonna be able to play. But you know, that's part of the benefit of being so aggressive is you do get paid as well. Like you're aggressive, you keep knocking, and then when you have big hands, people step into it. Now here, this is one of the first times where we're really seeing him with a decent hand running into a much better hand. So I think he knows though, like he's been not getting a lot of resistance, and he's willing to sort of step away from resistance at this point, and he really does have the 4 other remaining players in a tough spot. Like here, doesn't 3-bet induce, just shove, so he'll be a little bit annoyed, but everything's gone very well, and he's going to get the fold with no harm, no foul here.
Interesting if Romanowski had something like ace jack suited here, ace 10 suited. I think ace 9 suited is just going to be a fold. I agree, but yeah, be interesting to see what the bottom of us like suited ace. Do you think it'd be ace jack suited here, Jeff? Do you think it'd be ace queen suited? Because Theo can't really jam too wide, and obviously he's covered by the big blind. Gal's on a similar chip stack to him, so yeah. What do you think would be the bottom of his suited ace X that Romanowski would be calling there?
I guess ace queen suited would call, ace jack suited.
Seems close.
He seems close, maybe fold, just because he's having such a field day, picking up chips and not playing big pots. And also, I think these players do need to be so tight. You look at the pay jumps right now from 5th down to even just 2nd, right? It's a massive difference. So I think he realizes players aren't just going to be ripping it in super wide. And yeah, I think we see a pretty tight call there.
I think especially when Theo realizes that Gal is probably the least experienced, maybe he thinks Gal's going to make maybe playing a bit too tight or make a bit too many mistakes. So I think definitely Theo is going to be pretty tight in that spot. Wouldn't be surprised to see an all in again here. But we do just see him slow down now. I think he can't be too crazy against Rodrigo because Rodrigo can put a pretty big dent in. Obviously, Romanowski's stack now. But I mean, Rodrigo does have to play pretty tight considering he's third in chips. You haven't seen many blind spots as well, so this will be interesting to see these two beasts battle blind v blind.
Well, we are going to get ready for the giveaway shortly. We lose another player, we will kick it off. You got to hit the thumbs up and then be ready for the keyword, which we'll put in. Again, $50 or $100 given away. And of course, the hands up, which is pinned in the YouTube chat. Guys, guess the winning hand. If it's ace of diamonds, 3 of hearts, jack of spades, 10 of spades, what do you believe the winning hand will be? Of course, it's hard. There's a lot of combinations, but hey, you get it right. It's a jackpot. You get it. It is progressive, and that keeps going up. So I want to take a look at that, and you all can be eligible for that. You can say it here. You could guess in the chat, but you need to actually go to that link and then put your guess in, submit it there. Which is pretty cool. I'm gonna actually click on it myself and see what we got going on there. I think it's in the GG Reddit poker community, and it is going up each week. You can go and put it in there. As we see, King 7, 10, 4, Rodrigo at the 10 on a Queen, Queen, 5, 5 decides this is enough value to get called by worse. There are definitely worse hands that can call. Ace high being 1. Doesn't
discipline fold there from Romanowski. Because the thing is, Rodrigo's not bluffing ace high there, so he's obviously he's either going to be bluffing worse hands than the king high. He's going to be having obviously value bet on either a bow or a 10 or a flush. So really disciplined fold there from Romanowski. Again, this should like we said, he's just picking the spots right. He's folding the best. He's folding the worst hands. He's calling the best hand. He's hitting obviously against like top pair versus second pair and stuff. So it's definitely going Romanowski's way. I think I do have him on my selection for dinner as well, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I knew it was a good pick. He was favorite coming in, so.
Yeah, that's it is fun. It's fun to take, try to go chips generally, but when you see a player you select that's got a big gap on the chip gap, player wise to make a pick, and if it pans out, it always feels extra good. Rodrigo right now with the nice advantage, better kicker, and the diamond does check back. Yeah, this is all right. Not a lot of chips getting put. 9 of diamonds feels pretty good right now, right? There's only the 10, king, queen are out, so you got the ace and the jack ahead, and we see a small bet. Now, this would be interesting when you get bet at. Probably hard to get called by worse, but at the same time, do you really think, does your opponent ever have an ace? And if not, it's only the jack. So you're pretty high up here in the diamond flushes. Wouldn't be shocked to see a slight raise, although it gets kind of thin. What are you getting paid by?
I'm surprised. I thought it'd potentially go check call here. Check back call. But I definitely didn't see the while blocking this river card. And then and Rodrigo going for the raise. This is definitely not a line that I expected on this river card from either one. Is this value, Jeff, from Rodrigo? Is this a bluff? Like
definitely value.
Yeah. He goes for the sick value with the 9 of diamonds.
I mean, he's really high up in the range. First of all, it's not just 4. There's 5 diamonds out. The king, queen, 10 are out. So It's unlikely as played your opponent will have the ace, and then it's kind of just like, does he somehow have a jack that he's betting like that? Because I think a jack would actually bet bigger too, because they just try to target getting called. And this is a wow calls. This is a bizarre hand all around the bet.
So what separates the best, the elite from just good players going for value there with the 9 of diamonds?
Yeah. Wow. That was an interesting hand for sure. Here we go. King Jack suited. Gal wants to be kind of snug, could argue shoving, but here we go. Calls, and now Jack 9 flops more equity as a gut shot. The 10 would make a straight, and King Jack suited with no club, no pair, no immediate draw is behind again. And this is, like I said, Romanowski's really just had sort of a field day on how things have broken so far, at least. And I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Jeff Gross alongside Lucas Robinson. This is season 2023 of the Super Millions, episode 2. And the leader, we don't actually call it the leaderboard. It is a form of a leaderboard, but it is the super ranking, which we've been seeing numerous times. And we will have prizes at the end of the season as well. This is a interesting spot. Romanowski, does he start betting now? Maybe try to get a jack or an 8, a 6 or an 8 to fold. Has a gut shot, could just have the best hand, but is bluffing and does pick it up. So even though a pick up of a gut shot for Gal, this was a nice play. And look at this button versus big blind. This could get dicey, right? This could be like a open 3-bet, and Wow could get in a really tough spot here, especially if Romanowski goes up, big 3-bet to 480.
Sevens is a difficult one because it's a hand that you obviously you can flatten position, but versus Romanowski, sevens, how many bad boards is there going to be with pocket sevens? It's a hand that potentially is just going to run it pre-flop, and obviously we know Romanowski is not going to be folding the queens.
Yeah, this could just be a jam, I guess. At the same time, he could call, see a flop, and he does step into it, though. I think that makes a lot of sense. And really unlucky. We know everyone says it always comes, you know what, but let's see. There it is. We say it, and we talk about it, and now, he needs an 8 or a queen, and 8 would actually counterfeit. That would be a ridiculous run out. Let's see. Could it be? No, it is a 4 million chip, and that would have been a full run over. We would have had 10 million to 3, 1, and 1.6, but as it stands, 4 million, 6 million, and just as I was saying, Romanowski was just in an absolute field day. But it's never that easy, right? We know that. No. It's never, you don't just get to do just full run over. It's played so well, and now his first setback, and it comes at a 4-1 favorite fashion. Yeah, pretty tough 7, man. We really do talk about it. But again, appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up. That's the first part of the giveaway. I will, once we get to four-handed, announce the giveaway term, and we will go from there. But we are down to 5 still, and look at this, just gonna 3-bet right away, no waiting. Rodrigo had a real hand, and he is gonna get it done.
Yeah, I like it with the king of jack 10 off. What I was going to be opening there is the offsuit 9x. So obviously with the jack 10, you don't block the offsuit 9x. That's going to be the bottom of the open range that we're going to see Wow fold. So not blocking the 9x, 3-betting the jack 10 off. We saw him flat ace 10 suited. So I think if jack 10 suited, they had maybe a bit more flattened. But yeah, going with the nice 3-bet there and taking it down with the jack 10 offsuit.
Yeah, very nice hand. And
interesting to see how the likes of like Theo adapt in terms of flatten. So obviously this in terms of chippy V, you call a lot of the suited combos from the big blind, but he does just fold the 8-3 suited. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the likes of Theo, Gal, even Rodrigo and Wow, they adapt their calling range in the big blind versus Romanowski.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, blinds are up 40K, 80K. That means every 20 hands we do see that. We are on level 11, level 12 will be in 20 hands, 40, 80 at the moment. Appreciate everyone in the chat. A lot of familiar faces. See my friend Nick in there saying, how's the beautiful wife? And the little man. Little man's good, almost 4 years old, and got another one on the way. Another baby boy arriving in a couple of months. So be a little more hectic. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely the best having kids, but it's a lot for sure. And Having fun with it though. Definitely having fun. Less tournaments getting to play, but more getting more done in a lot of ways. And this has been great to be able to do the Super Millions weekly. And look at the King Jack Theo dodges one from Rodrigo. The aces tier 1 hand rank 1 gonna open and get a fold out. So Theo executing a solid game plan. And here we go. Still 5-handed, King 7 suited, Ace 8 suited. Wow, diamonds would be problematic. This is a pretty strong couple of hands with suited capability, and King 7 suited will outflop the Ace 8 suited.
Speaking about parents and stuff, I see my dad's in the chat. Shout out to my dad. Pete Robbo is the reason that I'm into poker, the reason that I'm here on the show. So yeah, shout out to my dad. He also streams on Twitch as well. He's been throwing some streams in there. So
your dad streams on Twitch? What's his name?
Yeah, some poker, amazing. Yeah. Pete Robbo, yeah. Pete and ROBL. So yeah, I just said to him, listen, give it a go. He plays, goes to all the live events and stuff with me. So he's battling in the low stakes. He's building up a role and stuff, building up a following. So yeah, he's been doing well.
Pete Robo, is that it?
Pete Robo, yeah. Pete, so P-E-T.
Underscore.
Yes, under Pete underscore Robo. Yeah.
That's your dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm gonna give.
So a lot of people, we were in Dublin on the weekend, and a lot of people are like, no, that's not your dad. He looks too young. He's like your brother, yeah. And he actually does. He had me when he was 21. Him and my mum got married in Vegas, and that's where he first learned poker. So yeah, and then they've been married 25 years now, still together now. So
wow, I just checked out right now, man. Yeah, super young. Wow, that's I just followed him on there. That's pretty cool. That is very, very cool.
I tried to get him to study, and he's an old school poker player. He's got better. He stopped limping. I was like, Dad, you need to stop limping. It's you may as well announce to the table when you limp that you've got a weak holding. So he's listened to me. He's stopped limping a lot. Yeah, he actually won an online tournament and stuff, and a trophy in a couple of years back. So he'll never admit that I'm a better poker player. I think even if I won the WSOP main event, won the Super Millions, I don't think he'd say I'm a better poker player. So it's definitely a good battle and a good rivalry we have.
Wow, that's amazing. I did not realize that. We'll have to have him on as a guest on the Super Millions coming up.
Yeah. And that's everyone's like, because that's another thing why I want to get into poker. I want to show people about poker and the joys of poker and the good side of poker. A lot of people, like my parents, don't agree with me playing poker, for instance, and I want to go pro, and they don't believe in me. They think it's a bad thing. So I'm lucky. My parents have always been supportive of me in poker. I don't know what it's been like for you, Jeff, but I definitely want to show. Try and just get more positivity and show the world that being a poker pro and playing poker is definitely not a bad thing.
I love it. That's amazing. My dad plays as well. He doesn't stream, but he's a little older. I'm 36, and he's probably almost 70, but he loves it. Plays a lot.
Is that how you got into poker? Is it through your dad?
No. He didn't play until I did. So no, I just
okay, nice.
Friends, and he loves it now. Wishes he had found it earlier, but yeah, it's a great game. It really is.
I've seen a big jam here from Rodrigo. I think this is definitely as like second, third, and chips with some shorties. First the chip lead, they're seeing a lot more of these big jams. 40 big blinds. You're obviously not seeing that in terms of chip EV, but on final tables, hand like ace king off is obviously you're playing a position best Romanowski there, so you can 3-bet, but it's not really a hand that you want to be doing much else other than going all in. It's definitely when I've been in important hands and studying final tables, ace king off is one of the hands where you can pretty much just go all in. There's a lot of actions and a lot of big blinds.
For sure. Well, I mean, again, this table everything changed dramatically one hand in that spot where we saw the 4-1 favorite, where Romanowski really was playing a perfect game and still was. I mean, he got his money in 4-1 for a massive 10 million and be 4-handed. But as it stands, we are 5-handed, and there is a 3 stacks that are pretty healthy. And want to welcome in my friend Green Eyed Asian Matt, who has been on the show as a host here as well as a guest, and he's watching. So say hi to him, Mia and Lara. And we are in a 5-handed battle right now. It is anyone's game, but Gal is pretty short. And look at this, as we're just talking about it, he gets kings. Queen 9 suited would have certainly been playing, but now with the super short stack opening that to that size. I mean, Romanowski's still going to be interested to play, but does he really want to be with queen high playing with a guy that's got, 10 blinds? It doesn't seem like a good idea. Although, of course, he could have not a strong holding, right? But he is the shortest stack as well. So I just think that this is not the time to engage. But hey, guy's playing great, and he's thinking about it.
I think this is what the second hand we've seen Gal play, or third hand potentially. So they've been pretty tight. Obviously, been raising off. There's a lot more raising off shorter stacks. Once you get down to the bottom in chips. So obviously Gal can be opening hands other than top of the range there, but yeah, Romanowski, like we said, is just picking the spots correct, folding and not attacking when the likes of Gal's got pocket kings.
For sure. Well, if you guys want to get a head start on the giveaway, and if you are enjoying the show, please hit the thumbs up. Almost 1,700 plus watching right now. So appreciate you guys being here with us, and I hope you're enjoying the show. We are going to have the giveaway. So if you hit the thumbs up, you will then be eligible once we put the keyword in at the end. I know a few mentioned they haven't got their giveaway, but we do send it right over to GG, and they will fill those for you guys. So don't sweat that. It will come, and it will be available for you. So good luck in the giveaway. And threes does get what looks to be a good run out. I mean, 3 5s are out there. It's hard to make a pair. You beat flushes, but look at that. Rodrigo does have that turned queen. And this is the spot where Wow could also block her bet small or check the side. I think folding is pretty tough here, and I think Rodrigo is going to go for a decent bet. He doesn't go that big. I guess looking more to get called by ace high. I think it's more likely or something like that. His opponent has hard to have a strong hand.
It's hard to fold. A full house is the number one. I think I always say on stream when I'm trying to bluff and it's a board like that. And like people don't like folding boats, man. People don't like folding full houses. The number one rule I say myself is don't try and get people to fold a full house because people just don't like folding.
True.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, to that size, it's a pretty easy call.
All right. Well, still about even. Chips 5 million, 5 million, 4.8, 5.2, 3.8. Theo and Gall short, and Gall getting some timely hands. Aces. He had kings, and now does he go for the limp? I think you have to, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, and Romanowski with the 3 deuce against Theo, leveraging it, maybe he just rips it. He could just check back. We saw him check back a similar spot. He does not go for the bait again, and this time nothing. He has absolutely nothing, and 3 high, and we see a lead out, and that will do it for Romanowski. I don't see, even though he does have some back doors, could he get cute? Maybe, but it just doesn't seem like the right time for it. Your opponent's short, you have 3 high, and it's a little too cute. So again, nice job from Romanowski, not just leveraging his stack and blasting it in. That's something we might see people do, like, oh, how can they call and be aggressive? But no, he's had good timing and tempo.
It just shows like you've seen him the hand before, open 4-2 suited, and then obviously then checks back the 3-2 suited. It just shows like he's not. People may be watching this and thinking he's crazy. Romanowski open 7-2 suited, 4-2 suited, but he's picking his spots correct, and that's what the best players do, right? The checks back the 4-3 suited then, and obviously gets away on the flop. So I think Gal's got pretty unlucky. He's had ace king suited now, hasn't he, in the small blinds, pocket aces, and Romanowski twice hasn't really had a hand to put him in under pressure and hasn't really hit anything on the flop.
Yeah, 6s and the lead jack deuce off. Not excited about the board. We'll get out of the way. Man, that's isn't it? It's tough, right? It's just tough when you play a final table, you get it 4-1 for such a big amount of chips, and you get banked. I mean, he's still very healthy, but Guy's playing great and winning a lot on contested pots, making good decisions. You get it in for a lot of money and just get slammed. But that's part of the game, right? And that's also like why it's so valuable to win all these other pots, because when you do lose a flip or get coolered, you or get bad beat, you're still healthy. And here he is, still chip leader after that massive pot. And yeah, we a lot of familiar faces, some people rooting on people specifically. I got G in the chat. Shout out me and my friend watching from North Sentinel Island. What's up? Well, I don't know where that is exactly, but hello to you. Hello to the friends. Thank you for being here. We appreciate that. And we are going to play to a winner today in a nines all in jam and Jack Queen suit. This is getting in the danger zone of close, right? You kind of queen high, you're suited, and you're just behind certain hands dominated by some too. But Theo with the real hand does get it done. Gall is your short stack, 800,000, and a couple of King Jacks dealt around.
A really disciplined fold there from wow. Yeah, like I said, in chip EV, that's definitely a call. But he obviously just realizes that Theo, with the Gal being so short and Gal being pretty tight and not playing many hands, is Theo's not going to be too out of line there in that spot. But still, being able to get away from Queen Jack suited, Theo jamming 15 big blinds. It's definitely yeah. I think I'm impressed with how well Wojo has played this final table as well.
Yeah, really cool.
He's not scared to play against pots against Romanowski as well. Romanowski, obviously, when WoW had the chip lead, wasn't scared to play pots against each other. So it's good that we're seeing these two battle against each other today. Is this WoW's first final table in the Super Millions, Jeff? Do you know?
At least for season 2, and then in season 3, yeah, he's got, I guess, 2 appearances, 2 cashes, and no final table. This will be his first final table, yeah.
So WoW's pretty inexperienced as well, by the sounds of it, in terms of this buying in this tournament. So yeah, I mean, obviously Romanowski is does pretty well, and we see him at this final table before, so there's no surprise in terms of how he's playing. Even Rodrigo, like, he hasn't been too in the spotlight. He hasn't been in too many crazy spots, but he's kind of just been chipping away, picking the right spots. I mean, obviously that ace-8 suited hand, I think, was potentially the highlight of the final table, other than the 7s versus queens. But yeah, I kind of really interested to bit of a geek when it comes to poker these days, Jeff. I'm really interested in how solvers and stuff like that or how better players are thinking about spots. So I'd be really interested to go back to that ace-8 suited hand and see if that is a good jam from Rodrigo, because I may have to start adding that ace-8 suited into my 4-bet jamming range on final tables.
It's nice when it works out, right? It's it does, yeah. That was a dramatic run out for sure. Yeah, that was big. Here we go. Ace-10, ace-4 suited, ace-10 in the lead, ace-4 suited open-ended though, does check back.
It's a board that kind of definitely is obviously going to be all over the big blinds range, but obviously WoW just has a hand where not really a good combination to bluff is still going to be ahead of a load of hands that from that Rodrigo's opened the button. So no need to bluff the turn. Can't imagine there's any need to bluff the river as well. And it'd be interesting to see if Rodrigo turns the hands into a bluff or just thinks the same in terms of ace high. It's just going to be good enough a lot of the time here. I feel like he is going to go with it. Like WoW's basically told Rodrigo he has some type of showdown. But yeah, he do just go check.
Yeah, good result. Ace-10 there, scary board, but does have the best hand. Does get the showdown, and Romanowski's certainly going to open the king-9 suited.
And just shows that, like, when I'm trying to get better at poker, it's trying to realize what hands are good to bluff there on the turn. Like obviously, potentially with a spade, a straight draw, not a hand that is gonna like ace high. That's gonna be good against that and have showdown. So maybe a lot of people watching this stab a bit more too much with ace 10 on that turn, but you're just gonna be so good versus a button open that's opening like 50% there potentially. So really, really interesting to see both of them. Just check it down and just realize they both have showdown.
Yeah, I completely agree. Queen King, gonna go ahead and rip it in. And we are still 5-handed. We will get the giveaway going here shortly. 140 of you already hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that very much. And that will be the first part of the giveaway to enter. We will put it up, and there will be a $50 or $100 giveaway. Make notes. We do replays. We do some highlights, I should say, on my YouTube channel. I have some of those, as well as on GGPoker. If you want to not watch the whole show, I mean, got to watch the show, but if you can only watch the highlights, that is available as well. And here we go. Tens, ace-7 suited, gonna call. Can't blame him, but is behind. Tens to ace-7 suited. Let's see, can he get a magical 7 or the ace, or else we'll see a double for Gal 1.5, a whole new ball game, and it is on the river an 8, and it is great for Gal, who is back in. We got 1.5, 1.5, 3.5, 4.8, 4.9. So
yeah, I think what 7 big blinds the Gal jam for when a7 suit is just going to be dominating a lot of the ace x that are going to be jamming there. The offsuit ace x, the suited ace x perform well against obviously the pairs. So and Gal's still going to be jamming hands that a7 suited is going to be ahead to that queen jack suited, king queen suited type of hand. So I think a7 is potentially going to be the bottom, maybe ace5 suited being the bottom there of these suited ace x. You were there with a nice jam, 20 big blinds. Interestingly, now WoW's now gone to the chip lead, so I think we're going to see Romanowski. I say we're going to see Romanowski slow it down a bit, but from what we've seen so far, I don't know how true that is going to be.
yeah, deuces and jack 8 suited, 4.772 million for WoW. Romanowski really has opened light in a lot of spots, and he's had playable hands though. You know, it's not like complete trash, but he's definitely opened first to act in a many positions early. In particular, we saw a 7 deuce suited earlier where he flopped a pair and a flush shot turn 2 pair, took it down. But he's had pretty fortunate runouts and boards other than that 7 to queens, which was a big one.
I'm pretty surprised in the twos there. I know that twos obviously playing out of position versus Romanowski is not going to be the best, but the implied odds of hitting a set there on the flop and just winning like stacking something like aces, kings, queens is going to be crazy there. And the twos just like you said, there's not going to be many good flops and you can just easily get away from pocket twos there. So I quite like to see a call there from pocket twos from a small line, but like I said, playing out of position versus Romanowski is never going to be too easy. You see him attack from the big blinds here with the king 2 off. This is why I like using the hand like king 2 king 2 offsuit here is just so good in terms of obviously the blockers. We get hands like king 8 suited that dominate us to fold. Yeah, so I think we're definitely gonna see a fold here from Rodrigo, but again, Rodrigo doesn't have that quit in him. Doesn't really is thinking about doing something versus the Romanowski 3-bet.
Yeah. Also, maybe could have some sort of. I guess they are deeper and he's out of position. Earlier, we saw the queens make a 3x raise, a little different spot in the scenario. So this is a bluff and it works. And shout out to my man Danny in Houston. What's up, man? Good to see you. First time tuning in. lot of familiar faces, new ones as well. This is every week Super Millions. This is season 2023, episode 2. Jeff Gross alongside Lucas Robinson, Robin Poker on Twitch. The guy's dad who streams on Twitch, P Robo in the chat. He is a future guest confirmed. Let's get him on, Lucas. We'll have to get him on there. I don't think we would be a first father son combo commentary. That's we'll have you both have him come on. That would be pretty cool. And you said a young young dad, 21. You were 21 when you were born. He was 21, so he's still very, very young. Actually, I literally looked at it, I was like, that doesn't look like your dad, but man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I guess it happens, right? 21, and it's not that crazy. It just seems crazy. I'm used to like 30, mid 30s, 33, but it used to happen a lot, right? This was not like a crazy thing.
No, back in the day, yeah. That's when people are getting older. Like I'm 25 now, so my dad had nearly 3 kids by the time he was 25, 26. So
wow.
But the thing is, Jeff, he's like, even if he was older, he's still like my brother. Like he plays still like old video games. He obviously, like I said, he plays more poker than me. We were in Dublin and he got busted out of a tournament, went back to the room. I thought he was just going to be chilling, watching TV, and he sat there playing online. I'm like, he's a grinder, man.
When he told you I'm going to stream, what did you think? Were you like, that's cool, or are you like, were you surprised? I mean, that seems like a big I had never heard, like I mean, it's a first, right? I don't think I've ever heard of that, like with a streamer to have their fathers like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start streaming. How long into it were you streaming when he said I'm gonna stream?
I think like after the challenge for sure, so probably about 2.5 years. I think he streamed potentially this time last year. He started streaming, so he streamed for a bit, and to be honest, he was doing well. And then unfortunately, my grandma passed away and stuff, so he took a break, and he's actually moved back to Liverpool because we were based in the Isle of Man for a bit. Now he's back doing it full time. To be honest, at the moment, so he's like I said, he's trying to grind it up. I'm trying to show him a few things, so I'm definitely watching this and getting some tips on final tables from these crushes. It's going to be good for his game.
Sure. Well, wow, Wojo making a nice bet there with the over in a gut shot. We'll pick it up. Good sizing to put pressure. King 10 really can't hang on. I would recommend, there's something new. I don't know if you heard of this, Bill Perkins. It's actually my tweet, my latest, I think it's a posted tweet on my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker with Hybrid Poker. Have you heard of this by any chance or no?
Yeah, Hybrid Poker, yeah. I actually seen, I think Jamie Staples, he was trying it out and stuff, but yeah, no, I haven't had the chance to check it out, to be honest with you, but I have heard good things.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's 6 max, no limit hold'em, no ante, so very similar. You can apply it to a lot of tournament stuff, but it's going to be designed for tournaments and PLO. But right now it's 6 max, and I've seen it all. I'm biased, I'm involved with it, but it's it's something where someone like your dad or my dad or someone beginner in poker that has a decent idea could like come in. It's not overwhelming like solver stuff. You know what I mean? It's like they give you hands. It's not RTA. It's just like they give you examples, and then it actually breaks down the game tree. So if like you're have a problem in big blind defense, they'll test your game. You do it, and then after they pull out a game tree, and then it'll give you a score like a node in each spot. So it's like, all right, your big blind defense, you have like a weak score. They'll give you a lot of big blind defense examples, and then do that. So it really directs and targets and sort of curates your game, what you need help on, and where you're struggling at. Because it's hard to tell, right? Like if you're a poker player, it's like, oh, okay, maybe you're playing great in so many places, but 3-bet pots out of position, or whatever, monotone boards, you just are like lost. So like it really gives you. So I don't want to overdo it and sell it. I'm just telling you, it's an amazing product. There's a free IQ quiz, 30 questions you can do, get an idea about your game. They're giving away 250K stakes. And I do have a tweet with a giveaway as well. I'm doing something with that. So anyway, that's what I'll say about that. Very cool product. Check it out. Maybe that'll be my requirement. Your dad has to complete the 30 question IQ quiz. As long as he's not a 0, we'll throw him up.
For sure. To be honest, like you said, Jeff, it is difficult. Like I have a coach. I think BBZ. I think you worked with them at some point, Jordan. So I have one-on-one coaching with him. In my opinion, he's one of the best in the game. So he does a lot of obviously database analysis where he says, right, he tells me, I just say to him, listen, Jordan, just tell me what I'm bad at, and I can improve. So he's like, you're really bad at this. Like, he's a big blind fan. So obviously, a lot of the time you need a coach for you to tell you that. So that type of product definitely sounds good, because I'm the same. Like sometimes you don't realize you're doing something wrong, and you just need someone to kind of point it out. Seeing all in, interesting all in here from Theo.
Yeah, take it down. Just straight in upstairs. And here are a couple of interesting hands. We got sevens on the button and two nice suited hands. One has 2 overs, but seven's just 10 blinds. Going to get to is going to just take it down. So gets it through and chips on up 1.1 million. 1.1 million for Theo as well. And we are up to 1,700 plus watching. Appreciate everyone hitting that thumbs up. I'm gonna do the giveaway here shortly. So we lose it. The blinds are up. I think we're gonna see some fireworks. 6120. We will drop the keyword. Let me just get it going. Let's do it since we're the giveaway is. Let's do it here. I'll type it in. So the giveaway will be you type in GG space Robin Poker space your GG username. And your username. So that'll be how you get in. And that is going to be a $50 or $100, $50 cash dollars on GG or $100 tournament dollars on GG. So there it is, my man. You are in it and getting it. And if you don't have a GGPoker account, maybe it's not a jurisdiction you can play. Give it to a friend, type theirs in, or work out some with them, or you give them 50% free roll, whatever you can do. And
I'll enter it as an example.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is a look at the payouts, 323 to first, and we are down to 5. So a big difference between 5th and 1st. We got 200,000 on the line if you're going to get knocked out, or what you can do. It's a lot of buy-ins, $10,000 buy-in, and it is a wide open game right now. 4 million, 5.4. A couple other players, everyone healthy, everyone in the game, and that's the beautiful thing about no limit hold'em. It's never over. It is never over till it's over.
Do you see many? Are they allowed to do any chops, Jeff? Or do you see many chops?
Say it again.
On this final table, are they allowed to make a deal or anything like that?
No deal making, not possible, and that is partly with the exact the format about keeping track of the P&L, the stats and the leaderboard. So there is a prizes awarded for that, and we again call it on here not the leaderboard. It is the super ranking for the season 2023 season, which is already underway. And I don't know if anyone's flopped really any sets today. Here we go. 3s to queen 6 suited. Queen 6 suited is not in the lead, but got the overs, gut shots. Definitely could start betting, and 3 is gonna have a hard time holding on. What's up, man? Pappy Van Winkle, good to see you guys. A lot of familiar faces here. A lot of.
This is what I was saying about the pocket 2s before in wild spot. Like you see Romanowski flicking the 3s here in a similar spot. I know obviously Romanowski in this spot is the chip leader, and he's got a couple million more than Wild. But yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about before in terms of pocket 2s.
Yeah, 9's big hand to open up. No real customers in. And Romanowski really, I'd say, is playing the best today. He's just chipped up and then had adversity where he had a 4-1 favorite to have 10 million, and he's back up when he was down to like 4 point something. He's already back to 6. Really playing well. Hands up, still going, still pinned. Link, guys can win that jackpot. Guess the winning hand today with the correct suits. Got to go through that link on YouTube if you want to win it. And we are still 5-handed.
Yeah, if anyone's confused why it's Robin Poker in chat, by the way, and you see my name's Lukas Robinson. Robin Poker is my kind of Twitch channel name. That's my brand. That's what I'm on all social media. So if you are confused, then that's kind of what I'm known as in poker is Robin. So if you see anyone call me Robin, then I don't mind. I got it from obviously, like as you see, from a second name Robinson. Yeah, called it Robin Poker when I first started. And there's kind of a funny story behind that. I actually started streaming when I was 18 years old. when I was in sixth form at the time. I think I'd done 3 streams, set on my overlay, designed it as the worst overlay you've ever seen. Micro stakes playing what I genuinely think I was playing 10 cent, 25 cent sit and goes. And called it Rob Poker because I didn't want any of my friends in school to find out that I was streaming because Twitch and streaming back then just wasn't a cool thing. So quite ashamed at the time. But yeah, it's funny how now I have all my friends from school following me on all my social media saying how cool it is and stuff like that. So if you guys are in the same boat, if you are young and you want to just do it, I just recommend just to do it because I only done 3 streams and then give up for 3-4 years. So obviously we're in this position now. So
yeah, it is funny. Have you noticed more friends or people that you know streaming? I mean, your dad is. Do you have other friends from school or people are streaming video games, other games, or is that becoming more popular?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm seeing a lot more people watching the stream, a lot more on you. Like obviously YouTube was I wanted to be YouTuber when I was a kid. That was even now kids are instead of saying that. For me, was playing for Liverpool, was being a professional football player. But now I think nowadays kids are like, I want to be a professional streamer, I want to be a gamer, I want to be a YouTuber. So yeah, I want to make it. I want to make it. But I think poker is seen as cool, but I want to make it so people are like, yeah, I want to be a poker player because that's how. I was either going to be a football player, Jeff, or a poker player, and I wasn't good enough to be a footballer. So poker player it was.
It's almost the same thing for me. I played in college, and that was kind of the end of the road. And I just I found it in high school, and then started really falling in love with it. And then college was just became my thing. And let's see if Rodrigo's going to call a king jack off, player behind, but 1.1. He could just have the best hand for sure. It's not a lot of big blinds. Interesting shove last hand. Romanowski with a really weak holding. So really just leveraging some of the shorter stacks and the player can't call. And here we go. Matchup 7-8 suited king jack in the lead on the flop. The turn is super sweaty. Picks up open-ended. The river is a jack, and that will
always
do
a
it.
sweat. GG from Gal.
GG. That is your 5th place finisher, down to 4. Closing in on 2 hours into the show. 4 left. Couple big stacks. Couple pretty good stacks. So no one's super short. And there's ace queen suited versus ace 4 suited. Be interesting if he finds a limp, but kind of short. Want to maybe just be balanced to shove and then get called sometimes by modest hand. You know, you do run the risk of checking and then the player checking, limping, and the player checking back. So he does get called by a worse ace 4 suited calls. Going to get shown the bad news, but again, possibilities, and needs runner as the queen with the spades. Now has some chop outs as a look at the 2 players, Theo and Wow, with the red flags from different places. And look at that. That is quite a river. That is a double chop, I'm saying, instead of a double. So pretty unlucky for Theo there. Had the hand and mostly wrapped up. And here we go. Rodrigo with ace jack suited and a king queen off for about 10 big blinds. Certainly could just be a jam here, and wouldn't blame him. Being the shortest with a decent hand, has some fold equity, and Rodrigo not always going to have a super strong hand. Would imagine that's what we see.
Some people say everyone loves the chop pot, but definitely Theo did not like that chop pot there, being super dominating the ace 4 suited. And now he's put up in a close spot. That was really disciplined fold there from Theo. I would imagine, like you said, Jeff, he was either going to win all in, or I even thought potentially call, but kind of on the stack depth under 10 big blinds where you'd not really flatten many combos there. So yeah. Pretty disciplined fold, cut off versus bottom as bottom and chips.
Yeah, and very disciplined. Rodrigo with the ace jack suited gets a fold there too. No entangling with him. Chips up.
After obviously chopping that ace queen suited for a big double up there, you could see a lot of people kind of go for a bit of a tilt jam there with king queen off and lose the head a bit, but it just shows obviously the mental side of the game. You've got to stay disciplined, got to stick to what you know, and yeah, really good fold. But oof, we do see the cooler, 2 big hands, and looks like Romanowski's stuck in the middle here, 3-betting the jack 8 off.
Yeah, gonna get caught in the crossfire, just kind of tempo timing, and we are gonna see a big all in, as we will see queens to ace king, which is a pivotal pot, chip lead pot implications. Romanowski's got a little extra sprinkle of lightness in there. And he says good play, and he has just stepped right on into it as we are going to see an old-fashioned coin flip, queens to ace king, and Romanowski saving a little face. He's actually got no running low on time bank. The chess clock. Here it is: queens ace king, hand of the tournament pot, the second biggest pot of the tournament.
Flip.
Ace king with the spade has the ace king over, hits the absolute miracle card. Now a queen that is not a spade has to come. That would be pretty specific. It is not going to be, and wow, is in trouble. He has got 500K, and Theo, music to his ears as the pay jumps are massive, and now he is no longer the shortest stack, has double the shortest, and whoa. Could be interesting here, though, with the queen king suited, putting pressure on, and Theo with ace queen, it's a very strong hand, but it sort of sucks for him to be at risk. A limp, very, very interesting. Wow.
Starting to see the limps now coming in from Romanowski. Yeah, this is where, like, obviously the best players in the world have different strategies, right? So you're starting to see limp. We haven't seen the limp from Romanowski now, but obviously it definitely does make sense with Theo's chip stack. I thought it was potentially going to go open. Maybe Rodrigo 3-bets, and we see Theo have a tough spot with ace queen, but you just see the two limps and the call. Wow,
Does get it in. I mean, such a strong hand on the button, and both players pair their card that is available, and now queen king ace queen.
nice double from Theo. I think potentially the only way for Romanowski to have got away from that was if he did actually open. Rodrigo had a really nice 3-bet potential bluff hand with WoW being so short. And I think Theo was going to be, it was a really actually tough spot for Theo there, because Theo doesn't have any fold equity in that spot once Rodrigo potentially 3-bet. So I think that Rodrigo for sure got away from that line with Romanowski limping the button.
Yeah, pretty sick hand. I mean, can't blame how it was played. An ace 10 now, going to be all in short, and 8-5 suited. Rodrigo, you know, these are, it looks trivial, but there's a little money in the middle. Gets close to what point you call with what type of hand, but here, you know, it's like you got 8 high, and he decides, hey, I'm suited, I'm live, there's money in the middle, I'm gonna run it down, and again, 80% 5-outs twice pure, not going to be what needs a 8 or 5 on the river. We'll see another double up if it is not to be, and it is a 3. So 8-5 suited does give a double up to Wow Wojo. And that was probably pretty close to call or not. But
how many big blinds did Wow jam for? 6 big blinds then, was it? 5 big blinds?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah. But yeah, here Rodrigo just gonna lay it in, knowing that Theo doesn't want to risk chips, would fold some potentially weak aces there as well with the other stack. He's not just gonna call off anything, and he does fold. Romanowski, little misstep with that light 3-bet, is still in a fine position, but 4.5 million finds him in a healthy second. And Rodrigo Selequan limping, going for the limps now. Does he want to take a big raise? He does.
Do you see many strategies like this, Jeff, as it gets down to kind of the final 3, final 4? You see many people like Romanowski taking a limping strategy? Because I did something that I've not really seen much, to be honest, in terms of the strategy of doing a lot of limping, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the king queen suited. I don't mind, but this one I would think I was a little less likely. And look at this flopping. What a flop with ace 3 off. You get the gut shot, wheel, nut flush card, and a good flop, and he is going to capitalize.
Yeah, I play, obviously playing like the lower mid stakes. I play against a lot of people that are limping, so I actually I've come up with some strategies for playing against limps, but on final tables, when you've got some good players starting to go through the limp strategy, it's hard to play against, and it's definitely a strategy you can implement. But I find implementing the limping strategy makes it even harder for you to play, because you then don't know how people are meant to be reacting against that, right? So that's what you've got to be an elite player to start going with a limping strategy. When it's kind of so hard to understand how population, even good players, play against limping.
Yeah, you got your dad in the chat, Pete Robo, saying limping is pimping, OG pimping. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're limping it with a plan, and you're doing it based on situations and how you believe people are gonna counteract. If that's like, if you have a strategy, it makes sense. But just kind of playing poker, like I tell my dad, he plays at live casinos or places sometimes for fun, like 1-2. It's like, yeah, you can't, you don't want to be the guy limping in there for $2 with Jack 10 off and under the gun, or so you want to have a plan. And there are tournaments in particular times where it is conducive to limp based on the stack size. You don't want to be raised, getting shoved on, losing extra chips from a short stack. Also, you may want to induce, right? You may want to limp with aces or a very strong hand late position, or some scenarios like we saw the limp earlier with aces, blind on blind. So there are times for it. And here, I think he's just realizing as the stacks, that's what's going on.
It is just a really good strategy, and it's something that I want to look into in a bit more. Like that Romanowski there, Jack 7 suited limps. If he min raises there and then Theo jams all in, he loses just one less big blind, right? And Rodrigo's going to be 3-betting him a lot. I think this may be the strategy he's thinking about in terms of if Rodrigo's going to start 3-betting him a lot more, then at least then he's going to be losing potentially one big blind less once he has the bottom of his range that he's going to be folding. So, and he can obviously easily go with the limp call like he did with the ace 10 suited. So, no in a call.
Oh, there we go. Queen 9, ace 10 in the lead, and a nice. So we've seen like every all in has been basically top pair and middle pair pairing, but this time let's see 5 outs again. 1 to come, and it is a paint card, but it looks like the jack, and that is going to be a knockout. We are down to 3. Wow, Wojo out the door. Romanowski, who had that little bit of justice, right? The queens to 9s earlier would have put him in full command, but as it stands, he's 2 of 3, 3-handed. We will announce the winner once we get the heads up. So guys, still have time to hit the thumbs up and type in the giveaway. GG space Robin Poker space your GGPoker username.
I didn't say it before, but I definitely did want to see Rodrigo and Romanowski heads up in this one. I think that will be I know Theo's obviously a really good player, but I just love the stars of Romanowski and Rodrigo. I think it's gonna be, if he ends up seeing these two heads up, it's gonna be definitely a good battle.
Celicon has got the audiences for the 100, right? I'm trying to think. Romanowski, I believe, do they have as well? And where do we stand? What's our dinner bet? I think kind of it's a little less clear on. I think you had you have one. I have Romanowski.
I think I had Romanowski, but then I don't know whether, I think you have Theo, but then I don't know who has Rodrigo. I think I think I had Rodrigo actually, so I potentially have Romanowski and Rodrigo. Obviously, we need to go to VAR to do to decide that one.
Wow, I can't. This is a first. I don't know if I've ever been. I've been. There's been one time where I'm like a little confused on who has who, but I'm legit lost. Like I don't know. It was man. I'm not positive. Audience, can we get some help? I don't know if we can get some help on what's what.
Yeah, because I think he went with WoW, because WoW was chip leader, wasn't he? So you still got the first pick of WoW, and then I chose Romanowski and Limitless. And then I'm fairly certain I remember me choosing Rodrigo. But like I said, if there's any VAR people in chat, I know obviously VAR is a bit controversial in football.
Yeah, it's well, we guys can help. I'm a little. I honestly earlier I'm having. I do believe you do have those two, actually. I think that's right, that I have Theo and you have the 2. So we'll have to confirm at the end, but that's as it stands. I believe you're in a very healthy position. Theo, who's kind of to be fair, cheers to Theo. He's played a pretty solid ball game to get here, right? He's in third. He locked up a good bit of money. He really hasn't been at risk that much. He hasn't been super dangerous, but he's also sort of stayed afloat, played solid, avoided confrontation, and has got himself at least 188,000. So well played by him. And honestly, I've been really impressed by Romanowski. Seems to just have great timing, great tempo. And Celicon, of course, the Brazilian, super tough, regular, and has got a good resume here, and finds himself with the chip lead 3-handed, ready for a title. If he is able to get it, we would see it is going to be, in terms of who has wins, there is season 2. We had Rodrigo did win 1 at 8 final tables, and that would be the only. If another player wins, there'll be a first-time winner on Super Millions from season 2 on, or else it will be a repeat for Rodrigo.
One's said in chat, Robin has both Romanowski and Rodrigo, so It's not an official VAR, but yeah, if that's the case, Jeff, then it's not looking too good for you here. But to be honest, I've really been impressed with how Theo has played as well on the Swallow table. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun battle 300.
Yeah. Yeah, queen 7 suited, 7-5 suited. Queen 7 suited does have a dominating start. There is a brick flop. One of the biggest things in Nolan Hold'em, when your opponents don't make a pair, it's so hard to make a pair or even a draw. You just get to win, and there he does check back. Would think there would be some c betting with the over to the jack diamond spots, but we also do see some great players delay c bet, right? They don't always c bet, and then they come with some creative bigger bets on the turn, as we see demonstrated. So, and that is again, this would be, like you said, I would love to see the matchup between Rodrigo and Romanowski. I feel like they've really battled and fought hard, and Theo has put on a master class of sort of short stack and surviving and staying out of the way and making good disciplined spots, but he really hasn't battled, I'd say, too hard. Also hasn't got a ton of hands. That's also part of it, right? There are times where just things will open, and he's had a lot of, but to be fair, his seat's been difficult with the players ahead of him kind of opening all the time, right? That's like when he hasn't been able to get as active with the players ahead. I think he's passed a few close spots, right, where he's folding when players are opening, and based on how aggressive they are, he could take the bait, but he is still sticking to his game plan. He's got 11 big blinds, and he is in it.
Seen Rodrigo pretty much 2x, 2.5x there from the small blinds, and get Theo to fold the king 2 off. So really decent. That's, I mean, these best really good players, just the combos that they pick. In being aggressive, plan v blinds, it's plan v blinds hard, man. It's, I'm sure you know, Jeff, like in terms of when you come to study these type and even play, like they're the hardest spots playing super wide ranges. So it's gonna be really fun watching these three battle.
Yeah, this is definitely a high level, and we are getting a treat as always. Super Millions, some of the best in the world to do it. $10,000 entry, a lot of satellite options to go. We will choose a winner the second it hits heads up, so I do appreciate everyone hitting the giveaway word, and you got to hit the thumbs up to be eligible, as well as GG space Robin Poker space your GG Poker username.
Yeah, I think Romanowski definitely wanted WoW to win that flip in terms of the Queens versus Ace King. I think him seeing Rodrigo win with having the now the chip lead and playing in position versus Romanowski, I think Romanowski was definitely rooting for WoW to win that one. But Romanowski, obviously, he's probably not scared, and this is yeah, really close spot, and he does make the call with the Queen 10 off versus the Ace 5.
Yeah, Ace 5 in the lead, got the wheel to lock it up. A 4 would do it on the turn. He's clean to the going to the river, got to fade a queen or a 10, and else this will continue 3-handed to 5. Doesn't need improvement, but he holds, more importantly, 2.7 million. So still 3-handed, anyone's game. You see the payouts in the lower right, big money to play for, and of course the valuable points for the super ranking. It is a wide open game, never over till it's over. King's going to get defended by 6-8, and look at that top set, I should say, versus middle pair and some backdoor straight. So probably can go pretty small. It is draw though. Draw heavy, does no diamond, no 9, no 5, no 6. So no 10. Definitely, you know, he could actually bet a little bigger, but top set, you're not afraid of anything. You have the stone cold nuts at the moment, and 6-8 suited certainly can't go away for that bet, and could even see potentially a bit of you know, playing back at, although I think the standard plays check call there. And what a card on the turn. Still the nuts. There's no straight possible, no flush possible. You have the best possible hand, 1 million in the middle, 2.3. Here's a little bit of a trick though. You know, what do you do sizing wise? Because you don't want to lose your opponent, but at the same time, you got to charge them for the, you got to pay to play. So I like the size. I didn't think it was greedy, but also there's a lot going on that board. So nice bet. And it is a new ball game for Theo, 3 million, not too far behind Romanowski, and we're seeing the limp go 3-handed.
It's just like it's the limp. It's just so hard to play against someone who, you know, if someone's limping and they're starting to limp their weak hands, and they know you know that someone's never doing this with, say, aces or kings or queens, but Romanowski is. They know that Romanowski is going to be playing a very good balanced limping range here. So it's just like Rodrigo's got a flick in the 9-5 off from the small blind. It's something you don't really want to do, but you've got to because you've already got half a big blind and it's only another half big blind to call. So this is why Romanowski and this is why this limping strategy is definitely going to make this final table a lot more interesting.
It's amazing. No one really has much. Ace three, ace high would be enough, but it is a 3 on the river, and is going to bet small. And does ace 3 think that it's good here? I mean, he's losing. It's betting into 2 players. You have to, there's not much. It looks strong, but enough. Got and just enough to call, and does see the good news. Does have the best hand, 5.3 million. Nice pot there for Romanowski.
I think what's going to obviously make things tough for Romanowski is his time bank, right? He's nearly got 0 time bank. The other two have got like 9 minutes left, so it's definitely attack quick then. So he's definitely going to have to play a lot more on his a lot quicker, a lot more on his intuition in terms of you can't think deeply about spots now. Romanowski's that may be potentially why he's gone to the limping strategy. But yeah, just to maybe throw the other two off with the big time banks. They can obviously think a bit more deeply if they've got a close spot. So
yeah, I mean, down to 2 seconds, chess clock. Every other player super super healthy, and he is basically got no time. I mean, this is a beginning of 5 seconds each street after the time goes down. Here's that deuce 9 off. So we do see the air ball, and this could be expensive because Romanowski does have the Houston, the taxi, king 10 offsuit, and it is a spot where we actually do see not a C bet, right? The delayed C bet we've seen before. This time checks again. Rodrigo Sella C with no equity, no anything. Does he take one shot, or is he just like, you know what? I made a move and I don't like it. The delayed C bet we've seen executed before had some value. Wow, and he is gonna go big.
Just goes. I thought this was going to be a spot where Rodrigo just says, there are certain spots where you've just got to kind of give up and say, right, I've got 9 high, but he just, like you said, these guys don't like taking these give up spots. They just like attacking, and yeah, this is going to be a very interesting river spot. But yeah, he obviously just thought that the ace was going to hit the Romanowski's range a bit too much. Wasn't going to get enough folds.
Wow, and that is
Romanowski with the you sucked emote there to Rodrigo. So bit of banter back and forth. That's what we love to see.
and he is going into bottom 2, betting in. And deal. Let's see if he's going to raise or just call. Just calls. And he has got a lock on the hand. He won't know that. There are clubs available. There are other things available to be scary. 5, 6 of straight, but feeling pretty good. Certainly going to be betting. And picks it up. All right, blinds are up 8160. We thought this could have gone, honestly, if that queen and 7 had been different, right? That could have been a whole new game.
Yeah, a couple of questions on where I'm from. I am from Liverpool, England. Not lived there for 6 years. Now I'm Malta as well. So yeah, my accent isn't the strongest. It's not as strong as as a few footballers you might know, Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher. Maybe Paddy the Baddy is the new one that I'm getting wherever I go from Liverpool, which is what you love to see. I've actually played poker against Paddy the Baddy in London, so yeah, it's definitely love to see the local lads, the Scousers, doing well in all forms of sport.
Yeah, it's yeah. Wow, call. 7's king 8, 7, scary board, but in the lead. We'll announce the winner the second we hit heads up. Almost 200 of you on. If we get to 300, I'll just automatically make it 100. But I think you guys are looking good for the $100 giveaway today. But we will announce the winner as soon as we get heads up. And a couple doubles, couple still play left here.
Jam from Rodrigo is 3-suited. That might be a spot where people, their hearts racing there, just going all in with ace 3-suited as the second in chips when there's a shorty, but obviously they know what he's doing, these guys. Ace 3-suited, really nice hands in terms of blockers, and even once gold has really good equity against a lot of hands.
King 10 force in the lead. 7 deuce queen with a diamond. The force gonna go ahead and bet. Talking about PLO8, I do love that game as well. Very fun
my dad
game.
loves that game. He played his first PLO tournament last year in Vegas, and he loved it. So
yeah, they have it now on Club GG. They added it. PLO8. They have it now on there as well as 6 card and 5 card. And look at the King 10 calls. Maybe thinks he has the best hand. There's a lot going on in the board, and now hits basically in his mind got to be the nuts. 3 seconds. So you can see the time clock is out. He gets 5 seconds to decision. He is going to bet. And, you know, Rodrigo going to be a little curious by this, what hand he's calling, floating out, betting. But at the same time, fours, you know, you do beat some things. And like, what king X does your opponent have that was sticking on? So this is actually a bit tricky.
two blocks from ace fours, potentially 4-5s. That are going to be the obvious bluffs here. That's obviously you have a diamond in your hand, but 4 diamonds isn't going to be too important. So you're just thinking in terms of obviously what bluffs here. Romanowski's going to have, like I said, you're going to have them miss straight draws, you're going to have them miss flush draws. So it's obviously just debating in terms of what hands he's going to call, what hands he's going to fold, and fours he's decided is a fold. Yeah. Now we start to see Romanowski going with the loose opens again, the 8-2 offsuit. Gets the king 2 offsuit to fold. Now that is really interesting. I think if Theo knew that Romanowski was going with as wide as ace to 8-2 offsuit here, opening literally 100%, then king 2 offsuit definitely is not going to be fold. But like I said, obviously the 30-minute delay. Theo's not going to know that Romanowski opens his big blind until 30 minutes time with the 8-2 off.
Yeah, a lot of interesting hands. Making some notes. Going to be an interesting highlights video, and this has been a very fun final table. A little less, I'd say, household names than normal in this tournament, but still, so I'm very impressed with Romanowski's play. There's been some great play, and Rodrigo obviously playing great. Theo doing a good job maintaining and sticking in.
Pretty interesting board.
Yeah, this is one of those things. 7-10. No player loving it. No player loving it. Any heart is a flush. And a 7. Does he want to do any type of blocker or anything? No, 5-3 says I got a little showdown. Let's just see. Maybe it's good. Not going to bluff. And we are here getting ready to announce the winner. And again, 50 or 100. If we get to 300 thumbs up, we're at 196. If you hit the thumbs up, type it in. GG space Rob Poker space your GGPoker username. You'll be eligible. And ace 3, ace 4. Wow, big shove. Maybe too much for Theo. How many blinds is this? At the same time, 160, 320. It's not, it's close. It's 8, you know, you want to, it's, these guys are tough too. You know, they're playing great, but you do take the spot.
The call.
Going to be chopped a lot, although there are potential. There are those potentials.
I mean, he's taking a chop at this point. Boy, he doesn't mind a diamond as well.
Wow, what a turn card. It is not blue. It is green, and that is a bit of a tough one where you're going to chop a lot, and it's frustrating when you got there. Big hand there, and now we see a pretty even ball game. Rodrigo and Romanowski. Can we get confirmed on the bet? Did you just scoop it? Guys, I'm getting ready to just make it $100 giveaway. I think you guys have You know, if we get to 300, make my life easy on the thumbs up. I'll just make it a $100 giveaway. I'm about to announce the winner though, so you guys get a little more time.
Yeah, really impressed by Theo. Navigated a short stack on this final table, so GG to him in third place. It's what we wanted. The Romanowski Rodrigo heads up. This is definitely going to be fun. Heads up is something that I haven't studied too much. Been doing a bit more study recently. Heads up's a weird one, isn't it, Jeff? Where like obviously it's very you don't play heads up that often, so you don't really want to spend a lot of time studying a lot of heads up because there's obviously a lot of things to study. But obviously that's where you make the money once you're in a heads up scenario. So, ooh, we see Romanowski.
Wow,
going for it here in a bit of the wrong spot. I can't imagine that we see a fold here. Oh,
wow.
actually we do because it was a double pair board. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy to with the double board to use the ace of clubs as like the bluff there. I mean, it's kind of wild. That was a crazy hand, and it worked out well. All right, I'm gonna announce the winner here in a sec, guys. So please, it is very, 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 very interesting hand. We'll say very interesting. The time clock going to be a bit of a disadvantage here after having to act quickly. Rodrigo does have the advantage there in that chess clock, 15 minutes, and Romanowski has used his clock.
I didn't really see the pair board, the double pair board. If it's not double pair board there, if it was just paired, I can't imagine that we see Rodrigo fold. Specifically having obviously club in the hand, but he does get the straight to fold. But like you said, Jeff, yeah, pretty interesting that obviously he does have the nut flush blocker there, but it doesn't necessarily matter too much because being a double pair board.
Okay, ace deuce, best hand. All right, what a final table this has been. Whatever happens here today, everyone, I appreciate you being here. I think we have had quite a day. Robin Poker picked up a nice dinner. Gonna get his dad on the show as well, learning a bunch about different things today, and we are in for a special heads up match here.
Listen, Jeff, we'll bring you to Liverpool. You get the dinner. I'll get the Liverpool tickets, and hopefully it's maybe next season or when we're a bit better. I don't really want to talk about how good Liverpool are at the moment, to be honest.
I did see. I saw it's been a bit crazy. I did have kept an eye on it, but you know, it's they're not in relegation though, right? It's like middle, like 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th,
like middle.
Like, which is,
I mean, we nearly won the quadruple last season. We nearly won every cup that could possibly win. I went to 3 finals last season. Actually was in Paris for the Champions League final. So yeah, but this season it's looking the opposite of that, to be honest.
Yeah. Anything in particular that happened? Was it sort of like it just kind of weird, or has the team changed a lot? Is there some injuries?
Yeah, I mean, we got rid of one of our best players. We have a few injuries. There just hasn't been the investment. You see the money that's in poker now, that's in football. Man City's, Man United's, Chelsea's, all the big teams spending a lot of money. We haven't really spent that money. I think a stat was we've signed 1 midfielder in the past 4 years, something like that. So it's yeah. I mean, we've been us fans have been calling for a midfielder. I think everyone knows that we need to sign a midfielder. We should have signed a midfielder 2 years ago. So, but yeah, it's. I think it's a new era when it's coming to Liverpool. We've still got obviously Jurgen Klopp, who I think is one of the best managers in the world. So, yeah, just need to give him some investment, get some new fresh players in the summer, and I think we'll hopefully go again next season.
For sure. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely a club, a lot of history, a lot of talent. Never going to be too far out of it. So it's okay not to have the best season every season, and you know, it's also okay not to have the best tournament every tournament. We see players, great players have great days and great runs, and then take one off. And here we are seeing a master class. I would say both these players really have played a fantastic final table, and I think, you know, I don't like using the word deserved, but I would say they've really been fighting and going tooth and nail, making a lot of moves. So it's been fun to watch, and I think that we're both deserving of a 250 plus score, right? A big score to add to the resume. Going to get a lot of points in the super ranking, and we are going to watch a winner today. And the hands up is now not eligible once it's heads up, but appreciate everyone who did participate in that and guess the hands on the link on YouTube, and that will be available in the future as well. Every Super Millions got the guests lined up for the next several weeks. Very exciting. Actually, I believe I know Neil Geraldo's coming on. Antonio Esfandiari is confirmed. He will definitely be on. There's been twice he's had to kind of pull out last second and one unforeseeable thing, but he will be on the show. I believe it's next week or the following week, but within the next 2 weeks, Esfandiari will join as well.
That'll be a fun one. Feraldo will be good. I've just been in Dublin with Feraldo, and he's always a good laugh, Feraldo, to be honest.
Yeah. I haven't got to know him that well, but he's definitely seems like a really cool guy, great player and fun. So that'll be cool.
He's definitely one of the good guys in poker. He's one of the nicest people that. One of the good guys in poker. He's one of the nicest people that. Obviously, we've been. Now I was on the Team Twitch squad with GG, but now moved to Team UK. So just me and Feraldo at the moment in Team UK. So yeah, I'll be throwing into potentially more live events and stuff in the UK and trying to build it up there. So.
Well, this is a chop pot if we are able to get to a river. I mean, 3-6 suited has the spades that missed, has a pair. Kind of think, what is your opponent calling you with? And this may just, check.
Check.
Chop it up.
One thing that when I was going through some heads up stuff with BBZ, you basically just when you heads up, you just don't really turn pairs into bluffs. For the most part, so you kind of blind be blind. Heads hitting a pair heads up super hard, right? So once you have a pair, it's just gonna have enough showdown, which is why we see both of them just checking the 6 there on the river. This is definitely going to be one of the best heads up matches to watch in terms of learning from these two unbelievable players battling similar chip stacks. Yeah, even for myself, I'm probably going to go back and go over this a bit more and study how both these guys are playing, because yeah, it's like I said, in my opinion, one of the best free content you can get is watching these streams, watching these the likes of these two battle heads up.
Wow, look at this. Going for it. Jack 7 off. Got a good hand to bluff with, semi-bluff, and does get a strong hand to fold there. The 6 lays it down. Nicely played. Colin Capone saying the most handsome guest yet. There you go. People are friendly, man. I'm telling you, people, YouTube, I've heard people talk about, oh, YouTube's not friendly or whatever. This, man, I've loved the audience here. Super Million Thoughts been very friendly. A lot of repeat and loyal tune in, and then there's some new faces that engage as well. Appreciate you guys saying hi, letting us know where you're watching from. And we are gonna play to the winner. Heads up is going on right now. Giveaway about to be announced too. Jack 8.
Same again here. You're just gonna see. I mean, potentially in terms of the King 8 could have been good enough to try and get value from a WSOP 3x 5x, but yeah, you're just gonna be seeing both of them check. So thin value with the King 8 coming. Yeah, that's what I mean. I definitely wouldn't have been surprised to see Rodrigo go there with the thin value there. But obviously, it's what you're obviously targeting to get value from there for the most part. It's going to be 8x. So
wow,
when you block the 8x, it's
this could be it. I'm gonna announce the winner as well. It is gonna be. It's like 100. I mean, he's got the nut straight and 5-9. That card is potentially the saving grace, but that is a very well. I mean, Ace-4 flops the wheel heads up, and this is going to kill some action for sure. It's actually one of the worst cards, right? Because now you actually lose to a 6, and your action's sort of killed. But it does go ahead and bet it.
Rodrigo just snap fold. Like I said, it's also hard to hit a pair when your head's up. So when you flop the wheel and you just see someone bet 1 million into you, it's just like, doesn't get much better. And then you see that 10 card and you're like,
Again, GG space Robin Poker space username. Hit the thumbs up. You'll be eligible. And deuce 5, 4, 6. Tough one to play. Your opponent putting pressure on. He's got the heart as well for some equity. And I will say Romanowski really seems to understand sizings, board textures, what he's trying to accomplish, where he's at in a hand. And let's see, a heart comes here. And is he going to go with another shell? He does. And the deuce 5. Really hard to hang on. Does call. Wow.
Wow.
I mean, 4, 6 off. Basically, the worst hand could have is a big barrel coming here. Wow. This would be an absolutely insane call. Like this would be out there on the all-time highlight reel. I mean, Rodrigo he's got his spidey senses on. Calls flop, fine. Calls turn, hero. Calls river. Oh, wow!
This is why we knew this heads up was going to be spicy.
Wow!
That's a spicy call. That is a spicy call. You'd love to see it. The thing is, right, he's only really repping the flush. He's bet c-bet flop, bet turn, bet river. Like, can have all them offsuit combos with the heart. It's a sick call. But he's repping a flush or a bluff, and he obviously puts him on enough bluffs there to make the call to the half pot sizing. Sick. So I was excited to see Rodrigo on the final table making hero calls like that.
Man, that was a crazy hand. That was really special. That was honestly like your opponent's gonna be bluffing sometimes and have the best hand, you know.
But then Romanowski as well. I say he's going to be wrapping up. Romanowski is good enough to go for a bet there with 2 pair, with a king, with an ace, with a king. You know, like there's so many hands. Like maybe against specific opponents there where they just don't bluff enough in that spot on that specific run out. But and they maybe don't even value bet enough as well. But Romanowski is going to be bluff enough. He's going to be value betting enough. It's a juicy one.
My dad's in the chat as well. There he is, Richard Gross. So we got our fathers both tuning in. That's what you love to see. And my dad is not a streamer. Lukas' father is. Dad, you got to check him out on Twitch. Robo_poker. Give him a follow. That's my dad would probably get a kick out. He plays poker online almost every day. He's in Michigan. So some decent options there. Hopefully online gets legalized throughout the US. But yeah, I don't know if my dad's gonna stream. I'd say that would be a highlight for me. That is probably a long shot, but possible.
I think what it was, I had him on a few dual streams, and everyone seemed to love him. Like I said, he's definitely a crazy dad. He's definitely a fun dad. So I was like, you know, people, why don't you stream yourself? So I was like, yeah, go on, do it. So set him up, and yeah, he plays some good music that he's into. Obviously, all the old school rave tunes and all the music that I'm into. My dad got me into. So yeah, we should definitely try and do some content. Me, obviously your dad, me and you, my dad, Vegas potentially this year, next year. It'd be fun, man.
Yeah, it'd be great. My dad, he's played some events, has some cashes, enjoys going to Vegas during the summer. So yeah, that would be good. Okay, 10, 11 million to 4 million, little separation. And I mean, you can't say my man does not earn it and deserve a big time call. That was a massive hand. Very cool. Very well played both ways. Good bluff.
I feel like Rodrigo as well. Yeah, he didn't even use that much time back in terms of making the decision on that hand as well. He obviously has 8 minutes that he can use, so he definitely could have used a lot more time back. Heads up, that'd be dad. That'd be pretty fun.
Queen 4 suited. Thinking about what to do here. Might just want to give up, although does have some backdoors. Could have the best hand possible, but does call, and a nasty card coming there for him.
This looks like was it a 3-bet pot as well, potentially?
There's a limp, and then
and an ISO. Yeah.
There's a look at the players' resumes on the fanned out on the side of the screens there. Rodrigo and Romanowski, more experience for Rodrigo for sure. You can see number 17 overall in the 2022 Super Million season. Here we are in 2023, number 39 already. Both players having a good start.
See the ace probably saved Rodrigo there, to be honest. But so before, Rodrigo does not like folding.
Yeah, this would be, I mean, pretty heroic as well. Would not have been right, but it does make a good decision there.
Yeah, with the heads ups that I've been doing, you do so obviously it's a kind of different blind blind. Obviously, in the big blinds, you're in position, so you're not incentivized to raise too much. Just given that you're in position, you can easily check back. We saw obviously Romanowski do that before with certain suited hands, but heads up, it's different in the big blinds. You're playing out of position. You've got that obviously in the small blind, you're in position, so. Yeah, it's you're doing a lot of raising from the big blinds, as we just seen here. The ace 10, king jack, two big hands, heads up.
Yeah, well, Rodrigo, he's got his opponent in a world of hurt here after the flop. Here's the jack, ace 10 has a key spade. Ooh, wow, yeah. I mean, this is definitely one of those spots where it's sort of he's got no time make, he's got a key spade over. His opponent could have some draws that are worse. He does slip it over. And actually the king of spades for Rodrigo. So he's got backup to top pair even if he thought he needed it, then checks it. And let's see now on the river.
Oh, this is going to be GG, I feel. I think Romanowski's got the perfect hand to just go for obviously blocking the straight, blocking the nut flush.
Check.
It's actually check, wow. I mean, obviously, as ace high, like we talked about before in terms of having showdown, so he obviously just thinks he's got enough showdown. But he did raise pre, obviously c bet flop, so I guess he just thinks as well he's just not getting enough folds.
Does fold.
Well, I was expecting to see Romanowski. We saw him obviously attack the with the nut flush blocker before, so I wouldn't have been surprised to see either on the turn or the river there from him. But it was definitely a nice give up from Romanowski.
All right, well, 12-3, so not over yet. 4-1 chip lead. And we're gonna announce the winner here any moment. We're getting pretty close to it. Give you guys a few more seconds to type in the giveaway and type in, hit that thumbs up. But we are playing down here. Queen 9 suited is got a good a good spot. King 8 off, bluffing. Gonna have to relinquish. Little pickup there for Romanowski. 3.7, 11.7. Ooh, queens to queen 7 off. And a kick up. Rodrigo could get in a world of hurt here if he does continue. Queen 7 off, called the computer hand heads up. It's the dead middling hand in heads up poker. So if you ever get dealt Queen 7 off, that is a good barometer to know you're like dead on in the middle of if you have Queen 8 off, you're going to be a little bit stronger. And if you have Queen 6 off, you're going to be a little bit weaker than what the middling hand is. And look at this, it gets a click. And this is good discipline for Rodrigo to fold.
That's the thing. That's why heads up so interesting, because obviously the big blind's meant to be, like I said, talked about before, isolating, three betting pretty wide, and then you're incentivized to actually call on the button because you're in position. And when I say wide, I mean a lot more with the top of the range, bit more polarized, top of the range. Not doing as much, obviously, with the bottom because the button is going to be incentivized to want to be full on a lot in position. So wouldn't have been surprised to see the queen seven go with the call there, but did choose to go with the full bet instead.
Yeah, king seven, four deuce, king seven, best hand, four deuce. The worst hand could basically have here. Generally, you see players bluff when that's the case. And bluff big goes 2x pot, king seven. He does have an interesting card there, right? The king for some straights that would block, but doesn't think too long about it. And here's two decent hands, 9-10 gonna raise, a pretty big raise, ace jack suited.
Yeah, is that 3x she's gone for?
Yeah. And he's getting kicked up again, getting himself in some weird situations now. Some of these different stack size spots. I mean, 9-10, pretty good hand, heads up, and actually does outflop his opponents.
Prime example of the 10-9, yeah, just raise call in there and being in position. Even versus big size. I imagine Romanowski folding flop.
Does call, has a spade. And 4.5. I mean, yeah, this is a very interesting turn card. He does have a bit of backup with the spade. He had top pair. I think he's gonna feel fairly confident about his thing. Wow, what a run out that is. I mean, are you for real? What a spicy river. Gives a bit of bait, gives a bit of freedom. Maybe it wasn't really, I don't think it was obviously not trapping. Didn't love the king of spades, but he did decide to check. And as it turns, Romanowski's gonna snap check back
wow.
and see the bad news there.
Yeah, pretty surprised by the check on the river there in terms of the SPR. But I feel like if Rodrigo had the 10-9 without the spade there, we see a lot of jams on that turn card. I think having the spade's just a bit more protected on the turn.
Yep. Yeah, good line of thinking. Just didn't work out. And back to 8 and 7. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a shot. We have got a shot to get the 300 thumbs up, and we still have a giveaway penny. And these boys are clicking now. There's some light 3-bets, some 4-bets, some jockeying, maneuvering. There's a lot going on. And here, Jack Queen is going to call, has his opponent dominated. Although see, 330 going to lead out. I mean, Romanowski could have the best hand, but it's really hard to fold for that price. He does have the lead, queen, jack, queen 6, and Rodrigo, though, got to know that probably doesn't have the best hand. His opponent is going to have king X and some other hands.
Yeah, I think I was going to say, I think we're most likely going to be seeing a check here. But does go for the bet. I can't imagine that we get to see a fold from Romanowski as well. You see a bet and a call. No, we haven't seen Rodrigo slow down in these spots, Jeff. So are we gonna see the empty the tank, or oh, yeah, let's see.
Wow, big pot.
I mean, the 6 is obviously decent in terms of blocking some of the straights.
Yeah, I mean, whoa, high level. The bar is high. This is we've seen some great calls, great bluffs, and finds himself 11. I mean, he's playing great as well. But both players playing great. Just a little extra pizzazz there from Rodrigo.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Romanowski with the aggression early on in this tournament, but I've seen Rodrigo kind of take over in terms of this heads-up match, going for the bluffs, going for the hero calls. That's why I said we knew it was going to be a battle. It was going to be a fun spectacle, this heads-up match.
Yeah, pretty sick. Honestly, what a sick match this really has been. This has been, I would say, coming in, I was like, wow, this is not one of the all of the known household names. We're up to the 125, 250K level. We've seen some amazing bluffs, amazing calls. The queens to sevens hand, just so much exciting play today. Honestly, it's been pretty amazing. And here, king eight, ace queen, blinds are getting short, and it is getting very tight now. It is about time, and we're gonna start seeing the money go in. We are gonna see money start going in. It is one of those things. It is just run out of blinds. You know, it's like this is when you know it's a high level. They're playing post flop. They're playing well. 250K level we don't see often hit. We're closing on 3 hours in the show. Hope everyone's enjoyed. And I am, you know what? I'm gonna announce the winner here. We're just gonna do it. We're at 476 thumbs up. Wow, what just happened there? It's gonna be $100 giveaway automatically for that. What just happened? People just went nuts. What is going on? Everyone's feeling it. Wow.
Let's get to 500. 7 away from 500. Let's hit that.
Whoa.
Press that like, well, there we go. Plus 500, yeah.
500. What the hell? The hell's going? People are fired up, right? Loving the deal. Look at this. I don't know what's going on, but there is a lot of people getting engaged. We are gonna make it that's definitely gonna be $100 giveaway. Wow, a lot of people watching.
Yeah, so I was asking before in terms of yeah, so Robin Poker is my Twitch channel, guys. So I stream on Twitch full time. I am part of Team UK in terms of GG, so you can find me Robin Poker on Twitch. I'll be stream full time there. Mostly stream like morning time, evening time, morning, afternoon time, UK time. So yeah, if you want some entertainment when you're at work in the day, then hopefully I am your man.
Wow, this is honestly, it's too close to call, but at this point, you know, you gotta give the nod to Rodrigo. He separated himself several times. Romanowski, I just really thought played so well. And we are gonna announce here we go. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put the $100 winner. I got it right here. It is my man. And we are gonna see the winner. There it is. You won. You will get $100 in your account.
Congrats.
Congrats. $100 coming in. $100 is there. Let's see. I owe you a dinner. I'm not sweating anything else. I'm just sweating for great play, great heads up. I love the action. I love the match. And I'm just honestly, this is up there on the longer side. I'd say average like 2.5. We're getting almost to 3 hours.
It's just that's why I like watching good players play poker. It goes so quick, obviously. Good company as well, Jeff. Good conversations, but this is definitely not felt like 3 hours. That's why I love streaming though as well. Poker, I couldn't sit there and just play on my own in silence. Definitely time flies by when you're having fun. So it's been like I said, thanks for having me today. It's been enjoyable to watch these two absolutely absolutely crush.
Yeah, this has been a treat. This has definitely been a treat. I really, man, I gotta say this is a world class play. I'm really impressed with Romanowski as well. Man, the shot clock's such a disadvantage too. To have no time, it's very difficult to play.
I was just gonna say, I think that's what is definitely been the key in this heads-up match is Romanowski having no time bank. We've seen that obviously Rodrigo's had maybe a couple spots in terms of bluffing or hero call where you could have longer than 5 seconds. That Romanowski literally only having 5 seconds per decision is definitely not helped him in the heads-up match.
Yeah, it is very, very, very big disadvantage to not be able to really think, but he's been quick on his feet, and here he's got bottom pair against top two. So let's see. Does he want to put a little something out? Small bet maybe? Fold out some air. No, he checks, and this is problematic. This two pair, I mean, yes, it's wet, there's straights, but this is a spot where this is very grim.
Can't see this not being GG, Jeff, if I'm truly honest. Unless Rodrigo makes it something like 1 million here. Romanowski just calls, and it comes a heart, it comes something like a queen.
Yeah, this is there it is, going to get raised, and now, I mean, I don't know. Is there a path to just call, see a clean river? I think you just probably have to get, you got two pair. There's a lot of draws, could have a pair, flush draw, could have blockers, and there it is. All in, Jack 9, 10, 5, big dog. Jack 9 is in the lead and is got a massive stranglehold on the hand, and it is a three-sider there. What is that? We got a slow peel 6. That is not going to do it. Jack 9, Rodrigo from Brazil. Pair of bangs, my friend. You are the champion. You are the season 2023 Super Millions winner of episode 2, and we got a full-on treat, and it is absolutely insane. I just can't believe what a final table we saw. My man Robin Poker, Lucas Robinson in the chat. What do you think? Give me some summary thoughts on this final table day.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think obviously we saw a lot of action go down. Rodrigo, if he doesn't hit that ace 8 suited 4-bet jam, hits that ace, gets lucky against the tens, goes on to win it. Yeah, I definitely think that Rodrigo put on a bit of a clinic, 3-handed heads up. But yeah, what a battle it was today. I knew it was going to be fun. As soon as I saw Rodrigo in the mix, I knew it was going to be a good one. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And to be honest, I'm really looking forward to going back and watching it again and learning from some of these guys.
For sure. Well, listen, unbelievable final table. Really appreciate the time. Again, season 2023 Super Million, same place, same time. Tuesdays, 1:45 Eastern. Special guests coming up. We got Antonio Esfandiari on the ropes, as well as Neil Ferrallo will be here. Ferrallo, you know him very well. Great guest. Can't wait to get to hang with him. Haven't really ever got to spend time with him. And we'll be back next Tuesday. And of course, very important super ranking points were awarded today, and we will have prizes for the super ranking at the end of the year. Whoever finishes in the top, there will be prizes. And of course, on the live front, that kicks off the Super Millions Live in Triton, Vietnam, is actually the kickoff for the live version of that as well. So thank you, everyone watching. Congrats to the winners, and congrats to those of you that participated on the show and got your Tournament Dollars award. So again, big thanks to Robin Poker, Lucas Robinson. Give him a follow across the socials. Watch him on Twitch. Watch his dad, Pete_Robo as well, who streams pretty cool father-son combo on Twitch. Thank you guys for watching. You got to beat the best. That's what happens here on the Super Millions. We'll see you next week.